Hello, we are live tonight from the Moonshine Deck in Conroe, Texas with the net. We are glad you're joining us today. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be talking to some contractors, to some business owners, and just give you an overall idea of what's going on around Conroe and around Montgomery County. So glad you're here. Craig is out for a few minutes. He'll be back in, a little bit. And it is hot outside. We are outside, and there's some fans going, thank goodness, because it has been 100 degrees with 45% humidity here in Houston this week. Today has been awful, and we're out here sweating in it. So it is what it is. We're going to have a slew of guests that we're going to bring you tonight. We hope you enjoy it. And we're going to go ahead and kick it all off right now with our first guest. So we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming. I told you my name's Kevin, so tell everybody what's your name.
Oh, thanks for having me here. My name's Brenda.
Brenda.
Arriaga.
Ooh, I like
or
it.
Arriaga.
Uh-huh.
And I'm with Brave Years Digital.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Awesome.
It's a team, me and my husband.
All right.
And we actually are in the AI world.
The AI world. Okay, well, I love the AI world. There's so much that's happening, changing rapidly. Probably it's one of these industries that it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But it hit the scene maybe about a year ago and has, people have been going nuts over it.
Yes, I agree. Definitely, it's been a big thing happening. You either learn about it or you don't.
Yeah, no, that's it, because there's so many ways to use AI.
Yes.
There's so many ways to incorporate it into what you're doing, into your business, into your life.
Yes.
And there's healthy ways to use it. There's unhealthy ways to use it. There's ethical ways to use it. There's unethical ways to use it. And I'd kind of like to hear, what specifically are you doing with AI and how are you marketing that?
Yes, I totally understand where AI can be a little scary for a lot of people, and I think a lot of people at first are apprehensive. So we dove into it. I am not scared to go and try things out. I got everything, try things out at least a few times before anything. So what we did is that we were trying to bring it to people, to businesses, small businesses particularly, where it's a tool.
Okay.
So it's not there to take over your whole business. It's not there to replace a bunch of people's jobs. It's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is let you leverage the power of AI to help you in your business.
Okay. Give me some examples of an industry that might use this and what they could use it for.
Perfect. Yeah. So actually one of our clients, she's in the functional wellness industry, so health and wellness, and she has a lot of different things that she offers for the wellness of women and their hormones and all that. So as you can imagine, that's a lot of questions.
Right.
That's a lot of private information. That's a lot of this, but it's also a lot of the constant questions. A lot of the, is this package going to help me? How do I know if this is the right thing for me? So along those lines.
Sure. So
they can't just give them a package. Here you go. This is for this. They need a consultation.
Right.
So the goal that specific is conversational AI.
Okay.
So the goal of that one is to book a consultation. In her case, it's a free consultation to help her client figure out where that's going to go.
Okay.
So in that aspect, it's going to answer the questions that they need, trying to figure out where they're going to go. And then it gets to a certain point. It's like, okay, are you ready to book? And then it will book and form it. And there's a bunch of automations behind it that work with it. So it's not just messaging. It's a whole thing behind it. So it can streamline that lead and that follow-up to get into the booking. And as you can imagine, automations and added to the calendar, notifications for the team, and scheduling and getting that information ahead of time so she's ready for that consultation with that client.
Okay, so is the AI bot, is it answering the phone to begin with, or is this hey, glad you're here, let's let the AI take over and help kind of guide you?
This one's gonna be from we train like a chat bot.
Okay.
So then we incorporate it into her website.
Okay. So this one isn't. This is a
just
conversational
messaging.
bot, but it's all messaging. It's not
Messaging.
voice right now.
No, it
Okay.
is on the works as far as it is being worked on.
Yeah.
But we're not ready to implement that just yet.
Okay.
We gotta test that out and make sure it's not what you're used to right now. With everybody's like, oh no, I need
Yeah.
a human person. No, like
Right.
we don't want to add that. But there is work on that, and
Yeah.
eventually we would love to test it and see how it can work for small business and.
Yeah, so are you actually integrating that into people's website for them? So, like, let's say they've got a website and they say, hey, we're interested in having a bot that takes over for the chat widget. Are you going and implementing that for them and then
Yes.
running the automations in the back end for them and all that kind of, so it's a full service type
Yes.
of thing? Okay.
Yeah, so we don't just give them a bot, here you go,
Sure.
do something with it. No,
Right.
we pretty much, we talk to you, and when we figure out what exactly you need. Every business has similar needs, but they're very custom specific to them.
Right.
So that's what we have to figure out.
Sure.
Like what is it right now, if you can have an AI assistant help you with certain things, what would it be as far as the conversation and as far as people contacting you and that sort of thing and information. And then once we figure out what that is, then we can figure out what automations need to come with that.
Okay.
And then we need to know what's going to be connected to and integrated with. And then from there, what's going to happen after that. And those steps, the follow-up steps and your pipeline and all, those are the things that we help you figure out. And if you already have one, then we try to integrate AI within that.
Okay.
And then if you don't have one, then we can sit down and brainstorm with you and help you come up
Okay.
with one.
So do you have a specific CRM that y'all work with, or is there, there are multiples that you work with?
We have a specific one, but there is several that we can work on. And right now our updates are, we're trying to integrate with more, but we do use high level as our base to be able to integrate, which a lot of people already have and
Sure.
use,
Yeah.
which makes life a lot simpler since they already have it. And other people do have other like constant contact and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And we can integrate with that as well. But
Okay.
just depends what you have, and then we'll figure out something with that. And if there's something that we can't, we'll figure out a way to still bring you that, even if you don't have it.
Okay. No, that sounds good. What do you have price ranges? Is that something we can talk about, or is it just really dependent on what the client needs?
It's really dependent because not everybody needs the right thing. There is some more complex processes and integrations and setups that we have to do. And then someone else just needs somewhere for their chat to go to.
Right.
So
Right.
it can be as little as $97 up. So
Okay.
that's just the ball of the park. It just depends what you need.
Okay.
But there's all sorts of pricings depending on the business.
Okay. So are y'all the one doing the developing, or do y'all have a developer you're working with?
We are the one, my husband's actually the tech guy, so he was the one that's gonna integrate it and set it up the way you want.
Okay.
Now, as far as the coding, we don't actually code it. So
Sure.
if something needs to be coded, then we go to our resources for that. We have a team of resources for that. But as far as the system that we use, everything's already ready for us it's like a blank slate. So it's the way that we set them up, and depending what the client needs, that's what gets integrated into their website.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Are you finding any challenges? Like, once you implement it with the client, are there just multiple check-in times, or are you seeing any moments about when it may be working better than others? Updates, because I know there's updates to the system all the time, and do those ever cause issues, and how do you work through those?
Yes, so definitely nothing's ever like perfect. So that is where we come in, and that's whenever you get one of our assistants in your website, you get us. So you have us to contact, like, hey, I love this, but can we tweak this? It's like, yep, we can do that. So we do offer that service monthly to be updated, because it's just like an app. Everything's always updating.
Right.
So we make sure that everything's up to date, and if anything has a hiccup or anything like that, we make sure we take care of that.
Okay.
Or maybe the goal that you had in the beginning, it's not the same goal you have 6 months later.
Sure.
We can make sure the bot is.
Or if you have a new service
updated.
that you started offering, or you
Yes.
deleting a service or whatever.
Or if you have a promotion, it's like, hey, I want to run a promotion.
Okay.
And I want my client that is reaching me to know that.
Yeah.
Then if we can add that for that amount of time.
Okay.
Just depends. All sorts of stuff. But yeah,
And
we
that's
keep it updated.
That's included in the monthly cost, or is that an additional?
So we have setup fees.
Okay.
And we have monthly costs.
Okay.
So that's where that goes.
Okay.
That will be the monthly.
So if there's that, so any little tweaks here and there, that's the monthly.
That's part of that.
If you need maybe an overhaul, then we may have to charge another setup fee, or is it all part of the monthly?
If it's within the same system and we don't have to
Rebuild
change
it.
so much, rebuild it,
Yeah.
then it should be within that.
Okay.
But it's just depends on your needs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, that's really, really interesting. If someone wanted to get a hold of you and learn more from you, maybe test one out or just get more information, how would they get a hold of you?
Okay, you can go to bravehears.com and you'll have a chat bot right there.
Okay.
You can just contact us and we'll get back to you. And you definitely can try, once we talk to you and we know what specifics you're looking for, we definitely can build a demo bot for you to test.
Okay.
So we definitely love doing that for clients, because sometimes that's the best way to test it out, is in your hand.
Right.
You talk to it, test it out, type it, and things like it before you even make up your mind. You
Sure.
can test out something to see if it's something that will work for you.
Okay.
And if there's something, I like this actually. What if this? Can it? And then usually what happens, your brain starts going, wait, can I do this?
Right.
What if
Yeah.
someone asks that? Can I do that?
Yeah.
So definitely we can work with you
Okay.
for that.
And again, that website is.
Bravefears.com.
Can you spell that? Because
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure I'm hearing it correctly.
Yes. So it's Brave.
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 Uh-huh.
Fears.
Fears.
FIERC.
Okay.
.com.
Bravefears.com.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
And that's that name has a story, which is why we kept it. But,
Oh,
yeah.
cool. I love it. Well, maybe next time we can talk, we can dive into that a little bit.
For sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Kevin.
And, good luck with your business. And,
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy the net tonight.
Alrighty. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Well, our first contestant. She's not a contestant. She did great, everybody. And just want to let everybody know that we are out here at Moonshine Deck. Come on, stop by, say hello to us. We want to let everybody know that we are sponsored so wonderfully by Lone Star Appliance Repair. Listen, if you have appliance issues, you need to call Lone Star Appliance Repair. Why would you just go and immediately decide, I'm going to get rid of my washer? Maybe it's fine. Maybe it just needs a little tweak here or there. Maybe there's something that is pretty simple, pretty inexpensive to repair. No big deal. Call Lone Star Appliance Repair. They have someone who can come out, give you an estimate of what it'll cost, and probably less than a brand new washer. You're going to save money. You're not going to have to go spend all your time looking for a new washing machine, and everybody wants a matching washer and dryer. It just becomes a headache. Call them at 936-647-2364. That's 936-647-2364. And oh, by the way, you can text them as well. Lone Star Appliance Repair. Give them a shout. All right. Corey. Your turn, Corey. Come on up. Yeah, absolutely. Grab a seat. Put those headphones on. Hope you're ready to sweat a little bit.
Feels great out here.
Oh, my goodness. It has cooled down, and it's still hot. So, thankfully,
I'm sure it's still over 100 degrees.
It is still, yeah, well, it says 98 on my watch. So
Real feels probably about 115.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I'll tell you is make sure you get that microphone good and close to your face so that we can hear you. And we'll get moving. Glad you're here. Tell everybody your name, who you're with, what you do. Introduce yourself.
Corey Reeves Realty Group, husband and wife team out of Montgomery County. We specialize in residential, lots, land, commercial, leases, pretty much anything real estate related we can handle, cover, and specialize in.
Okay. Well, the real estate landscape has changed a little bit recently.
I don't think we have enough time for on this podcast.
We definitely don't. But let me ask you a question, because we covered this last night in an episode. We did a whole episode on the new real estate agent rules.
Sure. Brought
down with the settlement with the NAR. That's the National Association of Realtors. Man, we're confused, and I think everyone's probably a little bit confused. But the backstory is that up until last Friday, it was very normal that if someone is selling a house, that they would pay both the buyer and the seller commissions. Mm-hmm. And normally it's 3% to the buyer, 3% to the seller agent, and that's where the 6% comes in. The buyer gets to get into that house without having to pay any additional commissions, which is great, especially if you're a new buyer, first-time home buyer. There's lots of different reasons why that would be really, really helpful. But there's a settlement, and a lot of that has changed. So do you want to give just a little brief rundown of your understanding of I realize that it's really hard to do that in 10 minutes, but
30,000-foot overview?
Yeah, please.
First off, there's no set standard on compensation. Never has been.
That's important to note.
The industry accepted standard, as you referred to it, was 6%. Buyer's commission, which we call compensation.
Yes.
Because we do work for it.
Yes.
And the seller's compensation has always been negotiable.
Right.
We set our own prices based on how hard we work.
Right.
Marketing dollars that we spend.
Yep.
Time that it takes us to get it on and off the market. You got to factor in open houses. You got to factor in lead generation. You got to factor in all of your direct email campaigns, social media, paid marketing, website marketing. There's a lot of things that
photography,
staging, signs.
Right. Like there's so much.
Cleaning.
Yeah.
A lot of times for our buyers, we also purchase the home warranty for them.
Yeah.
So that way they're protected on their first year.
Sure.
They can feel warm and fuzzy about the home we found them and we put them in.
Yeah.
So it's been a Chinese fire drill.
Yeah.
We were doing docs and updating everything, and then 2 days before this thing was supposed to hit, which was the 17th of August, they changed forms again. So we had to go back and re-up some of the forms and things of that nature. All of your current listings have to sign the amendment, and there's 2 to 3 different amendments for each listing.
Ugh.
So they have to re-sign.
So all of the agreements that you had in place now have to be at least updated, if not changed.
Updated.
Yeah.
With an amendment.
Right.
Not the 20-page document.
Sure.
But with few pages where percentages are no longer on, but an exact dollar amount. And what's ironic about the dollar amount is it can change based on your closing sold price.
Okay.
So 3% or 2% or whatever you negotiated with your seller and your buyer was a percentage. So
right.
it was always a fluctuation, because you might have a house listed for $420 and you close at $399 or $400. Well, $400 would be 3%, would be $12,000.
Right.
So if you fall below that and you close at $380, well, then you're paying
whatever that
3%
is.
on
11,
11,
5, whatever it is.
Yeah. So that percentage always would go up and down. It would
Sure.
adjust itself.
Yes.
Now we put dollar amounts in.
Okay.
Those dollar amounts also vary,
Okay.
but you sign off on an exact dollar amount based on what we charge our customers. We charge 3% for a listing unless that customer is going to be on the buy side as well. And if we list for them and they want to sell their house and they want to purchase, depending on the situation, how much it costs, time on market, like all these factors come in.
Right.
repeat customer, referrals, things of that nature. Typically, we're 3 and 3 on both sides.
Sure.
If it is a unique situation, a lot of times we'll work differently, but that's a case-by-case basis.
Right.
It also depends on price point.
Sure.
So when you're listing luxury, it costs a lot of money because you're doing designations, you're doing a lot of different things than you do with more of a first-time home buyer.
Sure.
With a 320 or 350 price point.
Right.
So there is no standard. It's always been negotiable.
Right.
Now it's just been thrown up into everybody, their attention, that now we have the ability to negotiate where we've always had the ability to negotiate. What started all of this was Missouri. Some agents were saying, well, I represent the buyers, I work for free. Well, we don't work for free because the seller has always paid the compensation.
And you're going to split it.
Right. So there was some people that weren't paid. There was some lawsuits filed. Things went ticky-tacky back and forth. NAR should have never lost the settlement.
Right.
They didn't go in prepared.
Right.
They got beat by an attorney that should have never beat them, ever.
That's what I was told.
We should have just said, okay, fine, pay your $50 in compensation fees and penalties and, to each plaintiff and roll on down the road.
Right.
But that's not what happened. What happened is we got beat.
Yeah.
Or NAR got beat.
Got beat.
And that has trickled down because we've never worked for free. It's always been negotiated. As a real estate company, as ourselves, we're LLC.
Right.
We are a company. We are a working corporation, limited liability corp. So under the limited liability corporation, we set our pricing as needed, as we see fit to cover our cost and all the things that goes into real estate.
Right.
So you've got people out there advertising 1% or 2%. You can advertise whatever you want. The problem is it's just like any other trade. If you're not getting enough to keep your business afloat, where are you going to be when a recession hits or inflation hits?
You got a business. You actually have to make money.
You do.
Or you got to do something else.
We all have to eat, but we're also very fair about it too, right? So when we do a listing, it doesn't matter if it's a $200,000 listing or it's a $1.4 million listing. They all get the same care.
Right.
They all get the same photography. We don't go out with our cell phones if it's a less priced property. We pay for professional photos. If it's more of a luxury, we'll do drone. If it's acreage, we'll do a drone. It all depends on what that property looks like, and we will do open houses, we'll do broker opens, but all of that factors in because there's money spent to get all those things together. So we have to make enough to be able to continue to offer the same services to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's real easy, by the way. Hey, Craig.
Y'all are talking about the moon, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yes, we are. The blue moon.
Yeah. So I mean, let's just take that $12,000 that you were talking about earlier.
Right.
I'll take 12.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what people think, right? They think, oh my goodness, y'all are making $12,000. Well, first of all, that's split.
Right.
So now it's $6,000.
Right.
And oh, by the way.
Well, if you're talking 3% on a $400,000, it's going to be 12 on each side.
Okay,
so it's going to be 24,000.
Okay, so people think, okay, $12,000, you're doing pretty good. All you got to do is sell 3 or 4 of those a year, and you've got an okay salary.
I mean, to his point, that is the national average right now.
It is.
400,000 is the national average for a home.
Yes. And so you sell a house every other month, and you've got a decent an average salary for a human. That being said, you just listed off a slew of things you're paying for. On top of the fact that you've got LLC fees, you've got brokerage fees, you've
license fees, classes,
all of that.
NAR,
it all comes
PAR,
out of that. Yeah.
MLS, Supra, signs. You want me to keep going?
No, I get you.
Our expenses every month. So all of y'all out there know our expenses pretty much monthly run around $20K.
Okay.
To operate Reeves Realty Group.
Yeah. So and y'all are a mom and pop shop, so to speak.
Yes.
I mean, you and your wife, right? So I mean, I just want everybody to realize, look, the real
mom and pop shop that's done over 3,500 transactions.
There you go.
So
I'm not trying to downsize who you are. What I am trying to say though is like, y'all are.
We're not a huge corporation
You're
that
not a
can
huge-
absorb some things.
You're
right?
not Better Homes and Garden.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that being said, I want everybody out there to hear you say and understand the fact that this isn't a greedy money grab
No.
on any way to
No.
go, look, I deserve 3%.
Right.
There is nothing money grab about that. And oh, by the way, if you want to do it yourself, go do it yourself
Right.
and figure out how much work it is to sell your home.
Right.
And, I was talking to Christy earlier, and we were
Well,
talking
you pay
about...
for knowledge too, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so the compliance, the avoiding lawsuits, the
That's right.
navigating the inspections and navigating repair costs
Sure.
and working deals and the CRM we have to pay for and input and all those wonderful things all cost money.
They do, and the longer, like if you get in there and you're a seller agent and your seller is going, okay, I don't want to pay for any buyer fees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? You've lost your sales team with the buyer agent who's willing to work. Because now you go from a house that may stay on the market for 2 to 4 weeks to a house that'll stay on the market for 6 to 12 months because you're trying to do all this yourself. So if that's what you want to do, if that's where you're trying to be, then by all means, do it yourself and stop complaining about how much it costs to sell your house.
Absolutely. And the caveat to that selling it yourself deal without the commission is what happens when the 3 houses around the corner from you are offering a compensation and you're not?
Good luck.
Who's going to go look at what?
Yeah.
Right? That's I have these conversations with our listings all the time because we are specialized as a listing agency.
Right.
That's we go after listings. Buyers come to us for the listings. We also represent buyers very well, but you want to be on the listing side as much as possible because you can directly influence your customers. You're influencing your buyer pool comes to you instead of you going out there trying to
That
find
makes
them.
sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No,
So-
it absolutely does.
And not offering compensation on the other side, you're absolutely right. It's going to set.
Yeah.
Because if you're dealing with somebody that's buying a $350,000 house, they've never bought one before, they've got to come up with 1% for their escrow. They've got to have their option fee, which is $150, $250, $350, somewhere around there. They've got to pay for their inspections. Then they got the appraisal. Then they got closing cost. They have all the other title stuff if the seller's not paying for it.
Right.
All of that stuff has got to come out of their pocket. It's very expensive to buy.
Yes, it is.
And then you tack $12,000 on top of that,
Good luck.
Yeah.
or $9,000.
You're
luck.
almost eliminating the potential of a first-time home buyer.
Right.
I
You
mean,
are. Yeah. So if seller's motivated, they got the equity, they need to sell. We're very transparent when it comes to this. This is where we need to be, unless you want to set on the market for a long time,
Right.
or we need to do price adjustments. How low are you willing to go?
Yeah.
So-
Well, and we gotta kick you
getting
off here in
the
a second.
evil eye.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys already covered this, but like with all the stuff that they're saying about transparency
Right.
with fees, to me it seems like an opportunity for other agents to realize who they do and don't want to work with.
Right.
Because I would imagine you could look at an offer that's coming in, and if they have a contract signed and it says like, okay, well the buyer is going to be paying them 1.5%, you might look at that and look at your seller and go like, look, this guy's going to be difficult to work with, like because like they're not paying enough commission for them to actually be doing their job. You know what I mean? Is that an advantage that they're giving you in the market now?
All right, so let me break this down too, because we
Yeah.
have these conversations, right? So no longer able to list compensation online anymore at all as of Saturday. So if I've got a buyer, we're going to look at houses. I've got to call every house that buyer's interested in to find out if they're offering buyer compensation to the agent. If they're not, said buyer, hey, do you have the $9,000 that's going to cover our fee, or do you want to pass and go look at other houses?
Right.
They're going to pass and they're going to go look at other houses.
course. Sure.
So now it's like commercial's always been this way. Commercial does not list a compensation on their listing.
Right.
You have to call the listing agent and find out what that compensation looks like.
Sure.
Now the thing about it is it's still loosey. They wanted to be transparent. It was a lot more transparent before because you knew what people were paying. If it was on the MLS, that's what you were getting paid.
Gotcha.
Now it's not out there. Now it's what are you paying, and they'll be like, well, what's your offer? So
So
that
are
could be
those
left
contracts that they're making the buyer's agent sign before they show a home? those aren't available for other people to see.
Okay, so those rep agreements, we can't show a home anymore without one,
Right,
which is going to
yeah.
make open houses very
nightmare.
fun.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you're the listing agent and it's your house, you can show it to everybody that walks through the door. You're not representing them. You're representing the seller.
Yeah.
Right? So open houses are actually going to probably grow in popularity because this is a chance for the public to walk through the door without having to sign a rep agreement.
Gotcha.
So there's two different rep agreements. One is for one is for showings, and the other one is actually an agreement between you that you're going to show so many properties or for a length of time.
Right.
So you can actually be a showing agent where you get paid per showing, or you can do a blanket and it could be 5 houses or it could be 5 months.
Okay.
It's completely left up to how you want to structure
Between
it.
the two of them, yeah.
And it can be per county. You might have a real estate
geez.
agent in Harris, and you might have an agent in Montgomery. So you're working with 2 agents, but it's completely legal because you've both got a buyer you've got a
So
buyer agreement.
You could have sneaky buyers like working agents over.
You can.
I got you.
So-
Man, thank you so much for that information. I don't want to make her any more mad than she already is.
Yeah, I know. She's already moving my stuff.
Well, real quick, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, thank you.
Corey Reeves Realty Group. Like I said, we're out of Montgomery. We do cover Greater Houston. We go all the way down to Fresno and South Houston if need be. Anyway, Corey Reeves Realty Group, husband and wife team. Phone number is 281-932-2423, 281-932-2423, and it's reevesrg.com.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
man.
much.
Thanks, guys.
Always good
Have
to
a good
see you, bud.
evening.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Well.
Have you learned anything in my absence?
No.
What's it like on the hottest podcast in Houston?
Well, that I can tell you a lot about. I have a lot of information about that.
Is my hat blocking the camera, by the way? I just said
no.
that. Okay, good.
No,
I ain't
it's
taking
your
it off.
head that's blocking the camera.
My head, that'll do it. That'll do it.
All right.
See, look, he was worried he was going to miss me.
That's right. Well, he didn't miss you.
Yeah.
Good
Who,
luck.
me?
I hustled just for David.
That's right. Well, welcome, David.
What's up?
Glad you're here, man.
Hey, me too.
Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I am David McGuffin. I own Space City Payments, and we specialize in merchant services and consumer financing.
Have you seen his shirt?
I have seen his shirt.
His shirt is legit.
It's so good.
It's one of the only things worth voting for this
It
year.
is. It is.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
it's,
if it
it's
can be tapped
fantastic.
and swiped, I got a solution for you.
I feel like, are we talking about payments or people? Anyway, so
Can I say both?
This ain't Nevada, Kevin.
I'm just saying. Anyway, let's move on before I get myself into further amounts of trouble. Well, okay, so Craig, you actually, indulge in this service, right?
Yes, this service.
This service,
Not the other one.
Not the other one that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you use his services for?
So we use them for some of our larger projects. When like amount of cash on hand.
Okay.
They need financing services. A lot of times they don't want to put it on a traditional credit card because those can have really high interest rates.
Yeah.
Or if they're concerned about paying it off in a certain amount of time, they're worried about that interest rolling over. So we actually employ David to finance some of our, for us, it's like mosquito misting systems, certain kinds of termite systems that actually have physical stations.
Okay. So to be clear, now I want to go back to you, David. You're not offering the lending. You're just offering the opportunity for people to use credit. Is that correct? Or is there?
What I do is I give businesses like Craig's the ability to offer financing to their customers.
Okay.
Now, I represent 2 different finance companies or brokers. Each of them have 50 plus direct lenders that we deal with.
Okay.
So we can always put together or find a program that's going to be right for your type of business. Now, we just recently rolled out one back in May that is specifically tailored for home improvement. And that program, it's got a 2% dealer fee, which is cheap. Yeah, and consider most of it in the business is 4.99%.
Right.
4 to 5%. It goes down to a 600 credit score on the consumer side. interest rate on the consumer side starts at an 8.99% for super prime credit and goes to an 18.99% all the way down at a 600 credit score. So we cap out at 18.99, which when you think about the typical credit card nowadays, it's sitting somewhere right around 22%.
Right.
It's still cheaper than putting it on a credit card.
Yeah, you're talking home improvement services. So let me. I mean,
I was going to say, we did a story not too long ago about Home Depot, like raking people over the coals.
29%.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But here's what I'm thinking. Let's say that, okay, I've got a house. I'm in over my head, but I need to sell it, and the thing needs work.
It's hypothetical, right?
Yes. Thank goodness. But it needs work on it. I've got a 650 credit score, but I need to spend $50,000 in order to get this in a place where I can sell it for enough that I'm not upside down. If I go get the lending for that, even if it's 18.99%, I could potentially get the money back to pay for it within, a few months.
Yeah, and the terms go from anywhere from 2 to 20 years.
Yeah.
So you've got time. The lender, what they'll do is they'll look at your credit. They'll look at all the factors, so to speak, and they'll say, okay, here's your offer. You'll get several offers. You'll get one maybe a shorter term. You may get one with a little bit higher interest rate. You may get one with longer terms. Just depending. In lower payments, that sort of thing. So, the consumer gets options, and they pick the one that works best for them.
Right.
And then once they sign on the dotted line, then the merchant, like Craig, will get 50% of their money up front, and then 50% once the job is completed, or they can opt for what we call a 30-30-30 program, which they get a third up front, a third midway through, and then a third at the end.
Right. This is probably like the
larger projects. And then, also the stage funding, depending, a lot of merchants qualify for the stage funding, which is what I was just explaining.
Right.
And stage funding, you have to be in business for a certain amount of time before you can actually qualify for it, because they want to make sure that you're a legit business for one.
Yeah. Right.
This is a business transaction.
Sure. So for them, is it like how long you've been in business, or is it how long you've been in business with them?
It's how long you've been in business.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you've been in business, like you guys have been in business 20, 30 years. 40.
Yeah.
I knew it was.
That's actually this year.
Yeah. So, you guys would have no issue qualifying for stage funding.
Right.
So you are B2B.
I do
You're not doing any consumer stuff. It's
not on
all
the financing
business.
side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like I would assume all your customers are out there actually doing the sales and they're just utilizing you.
Yeah. Of course, we train you guys and we tell you what to say and how to say it, and we tell you just assume that everybody is going to finance. And if you assume that everybody's going to finance, your quote shows that it's going to be for finance, and then you've covered yourself.
Right. Yeah. And when you say like tell you what to say, that can sound like a little manipulative. That's to protect.
That's It's not. By saying, telling you guys what to say, what you can say, what you can't say. But we also tell you, to assume that everybody is financing.
Yeah.
Just assume.
Right.
He's financing, she's financing, they're financing, everybody is financing.
Yeah.
And then if you want to give, and if they decide to write you a check or pay you in cash, it's your prerogative if you want to give a discount for them doing that.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Well, so I love the fact that you've got options for people that are trying to go, look, I'm trying to run a business here, but I'm working especially with high ticket type of things, or I just need people to be able to use a credit card, and I don't want to go out and work on my own processor. And Square is just a nightmare. It's so much a nightmare. It's more expensive, and oh, by the way, it gets even super more professional.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's so many things about it.
And Square is actually what we call an aggregator.
Okay.
Square is the actual merchant.
Oh, okay.
They're the ones that have the merchant account with the processor in the bank. So anybody that is using Square is actually a sub-merchant of Square.
Okay. Interesting.
So and that's how they set they set their rates.
Okay,
Again,
why is that an important distinction?
that's important when it comes to one, professionalism of the company.
Right.
Two, Square will hold your money.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, they've got no risk department. They've got no underwriting. So, when you go through a traditional processor like the processors I rep, you're going through underwriting. They're actually, anybody can get a Square account.
Right.
You and I can sign up for a Square account, and we can have a Square account in 5 minutes.
For sure. Yeah.
You go through a traditional processor, they're going to say, whoa, we want to see, that you're a legitimate business. We're going to go through the underwriting process. We're going to check out your social media. We're going to check out your webpage.
Yeah.
We're going to check you out in Dun and Bradstreet. We're going through all the processes to make sure you are who you say you are. And then we'll make that determination whether your business qualifies for an actual processing account.
Right.
Now, is Square good for certain things?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're not running a day-to-day
operation.
operation. It's if you're running a farm. What do they call it? Little trade shows, farm market.
Yeah.
Farmers market. That's the one I'm trying
Farmers
to say.
markets,
That kind of
special events, that
It's
sort of
great
thing.
for that.
But but if you're doing it on a daily basis, you need to have an actual merchant services professional sit down with you, go through your statements. Let's look at them. Let's see where what kind of cards you're taking. Let's see what kind of volume you're doing, the number of transactions, and let's put together a program.
Yeah.
Which
So,
is
like,
what
if
we do.
you go into like a brick and mortar and you see something like Square, right? Is Clover kind of a similar?
Clover's kind of similar, but it's not. Clover, you're actually going through a process.
Okay.
The difference with Clover is that Clover is actually tied to that processor. So if you got your Clover through Bank of America and you get pissed off at Bank of America, you can't take and use that same Clover device over at Wells Fargo.
Okay, I got you. That makes
So it is tied to the processor. So that Clover machine, you have to send it back to Bank of America. They take it and refurbish it and send it to somebody else that I got to do. And then, so that's why I have agreements with quite a few different point of sale systems that are what we call processor agnostic.
Okay.
So I can use any of the 8 processors that I represent in any of these point of sale systems.
Okay. But where I was going with that is like if I walk into like a brick and mortar and I see a Square system, should I assume that I'm probably paying more than I would be at like another similar kind of shop that's not using that? I mean, or are they?
You're going to see Square a lot in donut shops, coffee shops. Low volume. Well, I should say low volume. Low transaction.
Oh, okay, I got you. Low amount
transaction type places.
Right, I
And
got you. Okay.
for something like that, it probably makes sense for them, especially the kind of volume they're doing. Once you get,
But like for what you're doing, you can do similar things, but at a lot lower rate.
yeah,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
for the most part. Now, depending on the type of equipment they need, would determine, like if you need a full-scale point-of-sale system, you're looking at anywhere between $1,000 to $2,500 per station, and then anywhere from $49 to $129 a month per station on the SaaS fees.
Okay.
Software.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it just depends. And some of the companies I rep, that first you might go whoa on that first station SaaS fee, but then each additional station may be half that price.
Right.
So
Depending on how many you buy.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
you. That makes sense.
Well, if someone wants to get a hold of you and maybe check out what you got to offer, how do they get a hold of you?
well, you can go to my website at www.spacecitypayments.com. You can call me on my cell phone, 737-932-2160, or you can reach out to me by email, david@spacecitypayments.com.
All right, David. Thank you so much.
Always good to see you, bud.
Glad you're here, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, absolutely. Well, I want to take a moment here to talk about our sponsor.
Please.
Because if we don't, she might get mad at me. She's standing right there. That's right. But Lone Star Appliance Repair, we love them on so many levels.
Listen, thank you so much. We sing the praises all the time because it is, like, again, it is so much cheaper to get your appliance repaired than it is to go and then have to use someone like David to finance a huge piece of equipment where you're spending thousands of dollars when you can spend a couple $100 sometimes and just get that thing back up and running. You know, and when you start talking about things like your refrigerator, your dishwasher, these are things that you use every single day. And so, like, you don't, like, people can get stuck in that place of, like, should I buy one? Should I repair it? Should I buy one? Should I repair it? It's like, look, just text them, call them. They can get somebody out there quickly and get it repaired.
Right, and I know that this is such a reputable company. If you call them and say, hey, this is going on, they're going to say, yeah, let's come look at it, or, probably not going to be your best option.
We don't sponsor companies that suck.
That's true.
But we sponsor awesome companies that we've been working with for years.
They're literally going to unsuck your appliance.
That's a good tagline for them.
We should unsuck your appliance.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it. Well, if you want to get a hold of them, you can contact them at 936-647-2364, 936-647-2364. Craig, we have another guest.
We got another guest.
All right.
How you doing?
Doing good. How
Let
about you guys?
bring that thing up close where you can hear yourself.
How's that sound?
That's perfect.
Much better. Yeah.
Perfect.
As long as you can hear you, they can hear you.
Awesome.
So let everybody know who you are and what you do, man.
My name is Chris McDaniel, owner of Summit Insurance Brokerage here in the Woodlands, Conroe area. We take care of families and businesses, set up their business policies, and support them in with commercial insurance.
Okay. Are you exclusively doing commercial insurance, or?
So myself, I'm specialized in commercial. We have some folks in our office that specialize in personal lines. So,
Okay.
We personal families, businesses, if you want to call and have a conversation, we are glad to have you.
You got somebody that can help across the board.
Across the board.
I got you. But your specialization is commercial.
Specialization is absolutely commercial.
Yeah. And is that like a separate license? Is that like a specialization license? How does that work?
It's not a specialization license. As long as you have your general agency license, so commercial.
Okay. And so when businesses like the ones that we interview all the time, when I think, like, especially after startups, like what is it that they find so surprising that's different about commercial insurance than, say, like homeowners insurance or medical insurance or any of those?
Some of the biggest conversations I've had with contractors specifically, especially the new ones. We've got a lot of work here in Houston, especially after the rainstorm. So you've got a lot of folks that are pulling off of their current business, maybe working for somebody and starting their own company.
Right.
One of the biggest things that they fall into is the amount of premium that they need to pay to start a policy.
Okay.
Coverages in general. Sometimes they have insurance requirements that are needed in contracts from customers that they want to work with.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have quarterly and annual audits in some cases that are placed by the insurance carriers to check on things like their payroll, their revenue, the things that the insurance policies premiums are based on. So that can be a lot to someone that's starting out a business, and maybe has been in business for a couple of years, hasn't seen an audit,
Right.
and some of the things that we do on a daily basis in conversations that we have with business.
Right. Like I know for us, a lot of times we'll bring on a new client, and they'll just bring like a ridiculous amount that they say, like, you need to have proof of in insurance before you can even get on the policy. Whereas we've been carrying a $2 million policy, all of a sudden we need a $6 million policy. You know what I mean? And I know that's a big jump in numbers, and it's not usually the
It
case.
doesn't sound completely unreasonable that you might have a scenario if you've got a home that you're traditionally working on that's 2,500 to 3,500 square foot, and all of a sudden you walk into an 8,000 square foot home, and they're going, look, before you can walk on our property that has animals, we've got this, we've got that. I want to make sure that you're covered, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, it's not been rare for us to work in like a $10 million home, but most of the time that's happening in a commercial space.
Sure.
Where another commercial business is saying, like, look,
You need a $5 million excess policy.
Yeah.
You need all of these endorsements, and you need these listed on the COI.
Right.
It's not uncommon, especially if you're, say, like a company that is kind of getting into mid-level and large corporation contracts,
Yes.
or even government contracts.
Yes.
That's not unheard of to see those types of requests come in.
Yeah.
That's why, like, a good insurance broker in general is just good to have on hand. For me, you can call my cell phone. All my contractors have direct line of contact with me. You need a certificate of insurance turned around that day. You get it. If you need a $5 million excess, generally it's about a 48-hour turnaround. And so it's a very quick process for us when we have the underwriters and the surplus lines teams that are there ready to go, for these types of risks. So we're out here ready to make sure that everybody is getting their business and their money.
Yeah.
And insurance is the last thing that we've got to worry about.
Well, and because we have a lot of business owners that listen to the show, I would say our audience is like split 50-50 between like business people and then like homeowners, just because of who we have on the show.
Sure.
But like for business owners, what ducks do they need to have in a row in order to get that 48-hour turn? You know what I mean?
If you're currently in business and you're wanting to shop, loss runs are typically the thing that takes the most time to collect.
Okay.
It's not the end of the world. In some cases, we can get something turned around for you. We have that on the back end or get looked at.
So what's a loss run?
Loss run is basically your insurance history with the company that you're currently with.
Okay.
And so just like on the home insurance and the auto insurance side, they're looking at your
How many wrecks you've had? How many
claims you've had, and most often the loss runs are showing nothing, and it's just something that the underwriters are not going to see.
They need to look at that.
Yeah.
Due diligence is what it is.
Exactly. You want to have your revenue. You want to be accurate with your revenue, your payroll, how many employees you have. If you're doing 1099 subcontracting work, are the subcontractors insured? Are they uninsured? Do you collect a COI from your subcontractors?
Okay.
Are those subcontractors allowed to go do other work? Or are they solely relying on you as the sole
Half the
income?
job that they're doing, yeah.
In those cases, you want to try to be as clear with me as possible, even if it's something that maybe you're doing now that you're not going to be doing later on, or something that you're doing later on that you're not doing now, so that we have a strategy to go into these conversations with these underwriters. Because underwriters are going to look at it from a black and white point of view, and it might not be on the table just yet, but you might be getting ready to go hire a bunch of subcontractors and subcontractors.
Yeah. So if you don't have a COI from a subcontractor, is that going to increase my deductible? Is it going to increase my rate? Is it going to deny me the ability to get that insurance? Like, what am I looking at if that's the situation? Because I imagine there's a lot of guys that are like that.
It opens you up to risk. And so if you have a subcontractor that only deals with you, that's wearing your name tag on their shirt, going out and doing work, and you don't get they're technically an employee.
Sure.
So they need to be categorized under your insurance policy, or at least we need to look at it to see what the holistic approach is with that type of risk.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of variables.
A lot of variables. So especially again, the underwriters are going to look at it from a very black and white type of situation.
Yeah.
If we can understand what the subcontractor what they're doing, we can be as accurate as possible on the insurance application.
Yeah. And so then I guess on the homeowner side, like when you bring a contractor into your home, how is it that they can then verify that they have a good policy for somebody like you?
Typically, you want to collect, so just like you're going to collect on your subcontractors that are not insured under your insurance policy, your homeowners, businesses, whoever's doing the work, if you can ask for a certificate of insurance from that company, and then I would say even naming you as additional interest, that would be typically what you're looking at is $1 million per occurrence, $2 million aggregate, and in many cases you want that excess policy on top of it. Workers' comp coverage if you have employees working in there. Each homeowner, each business is going to be different.
And they should have those ready.
Yeah. Well, so if you're a contractor, that homeowner asks for one, you turn it around within about 20 minutes. If that. Some cases it's 5 minutes.
Oh, that's easy.
Man, that's great.
If it's a 1 o'clock p.m. on a Monday through Friday, it is 5 minute tournament. We have everything ready to go.
It's all done through email, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's simple. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I think a lot of business owners don't think about until they get a ways down the road, 6 months, a year, or something. They're going, oh crap, I now got to get this in place too. And I think that if you are the two things that I just want to kind of wrap up with is if you're a business owner, make sure you have enough insurance. If you don't, call someone like you and learn, what do I need? Like, can you help me understand what I actually need? Do I have enough? Do I need more? Do I have the right amount of stuff? Whatever. And then if you're a homeowner and you've got people coming into your home, you need to understand that, like I had a tree that I needed felled, and I knew that this tree could cause some damage if it fell the wrong way. And on top of that, the tree had been dead for a long time, and I was concerned for the worker that he was going to have to top it. And so to top this thing, I was afraid that it could come down with him on it. And I wanted to make sure that my tree guy had enough insurance for him and for my home, for all that kind of stuff, and he was able to get it to me. So just be aware as a homeowner that you have the right to ask for that, and you don't.
Rude.
It's actually just you doing your due diligence. So it's a big important thing.
Just kind of cap out the insurance industry. You want to have good conversations with independent brokers. We're here to have a conversation with you, understand your business, understand your family, what you're going through, the big picture items, and it doesn't cost anything to call me and have a conversation.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, how do they do that? How would someone get a hold of you if they want to call and check you out?
Summit Insurance Brokers, Woodlands, Texas. We're off of Hughes Landing, Boulevard. Website is tsibT.com. It's the Summit Insurance Brokers in Texas. And call me personally, 281-803-8179.
All right. Well, thank you very much, dude.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Have a good night. That's really good information.
I get here and things start moving along smoothly.
Oh, come on. Faust, what's up, my friend? All right.
Y'all ready for me?
Mike Faust in the house. That almost rhymed. I didn't mean for it to, but it almost did. Faust in the house. That's right. Make sure you get you in here before. Make sure you get that microphone good up and close to your mouth. Tell everybody who you are and what you do, man.
Hey guys, I'm Michael. I'm the owner of Faust Landscaping here in Montgomery County.
Yeah. If you can hear you, they can hear you.
Should I take the glasses off?
That's a branding issue. I don't know.
They're green, so it's going with the landscaping vibe. Yeah.
That's right.
It's been a while. Thanks for having me back.
Dude, it's been a crazy month for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the hurricane
Yes.
disasters always work in our favor.
Yes.
But it's like a quick fix, but it's like a quick way to make some quick money, but really it doesn't, the long term isn't really ideal.
Yeah, because you're really looking for some residual so you can feed your family every day.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. I get a bunch at one time and then I'm going to go spend it probably. Or you got to hire more subs to come in and do some stuff, I would assume.
Well, it's more like, hey, we were saving for this project, but now we have to fix these trees and this fence, and now we are not going to do that project.
Right.
That's more of
That makes sense.
and then like right around the time of school, so it's
the timing's been tough.
It was we're blessed. God's been on our side since day one.
Sure.
But yes, essentially the disaster is a good thing for us.
I'll tell you one that I ran across that I thought was really interesting. I think a lot of people just over the last 3 months have learned whether or not their drainage works at all.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was at a customer's house and this guy didn't own it. He was a renter. Okay, but it had a fence, and like they put those cross beams across the bottom of the fence to do like a finish look on them.
Oh yeah.
What do you call it?
The rot board.
Rot board.
The rot board. I love
But like it,
Well, the fence depicts from rotting.
yeah, but and it's like thicker, and it's usually like a 2x8 or something like that, or a 2x10 or like something.
It looks like a baseboard.
It does.
Okay.
But it looks nice, but it keeps it from rotting. Well, he told me, he's like, look, the house wouldn't have flooded if that rot board hadn't been there. Because it was prevented because
All the water went
backyard was up higher, and all the water flowed to that rock board, and it just stopped it, and it pushed it all in the house. And he was like, if the fence had been built right, like, and the drainage had been right, if they'd had like some good French drains to move that water out of that space quickly, the house never would have flooded. But like the guy that owned the house ended up having to replace all the floors because all that water came in through the loopholes.
Yeah, it sucks whenever you take on the responsibility of being a homeowner, and then you work every day, and then you have those issues, and it sucks, And then you got people like contractors like myself coming in at price.
Well, let me ask you this, because I think this is a great question. So let's say that I hire you to come out to my property and you go, hey, I need a fence built. And oh, by the way, I want that finish look. I don't know, what's that baseboard thing called? Oh, it's rubber. Okay, great. Can I do that? Are you going to tell me, yeah, you can, but you're also going to have to do this? Like, how do you handle those types of situations? I know you're a reputable company, so I assume I know this.
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think it comes with experience and just trial and error, So, we want to lead our customers in the best path. So, on anything, we can use that as an example, but if we see that there may be a future problem or it may divert to another issue, then we're going to bring that up.
Yeah, no, I think that's what should happen, and I think as a homeowner, I would want to know that because it should inform what I choose to do. And do I want that water just to go into my neighbor's yard, or do I want to funnel it to my front yard and let it go out to the street? What are my options?
Well, here's my question though: is how many times, and I know you don't have the exact dates, but how many times have you had a client pick the aesthetic over the function? You know what I mean? In your mind, like what percentage of the time do they pick the look of it?
I would say it's pretty low.
Really?
I would say the way I present myself and the way I try to sell, it's going to be more functional landscaping before it's aesthetic landscaping. So I would say it's like 20%.
Okay.
If you were to me to give you a number.
No, that's what I wanted. What's your best guess?
I would say that's the number. I mean, usually
I'm shocked and surprised by that, honestly.
Well, it's just the way that we operate. We're going to tell them, like, hey, this is a gorgeous idea, but this isn't going to work. Just like it relates back to what you were asking me. It's like, this is why you should do it like this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's always best practice to give the facts up front because the last thing you want is, a year down the road for this customer to come back to you and be like, what the crap, Mike? Yeah.
And it's happened, and that's where I get my experience from.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, maybe I need to do a little more research on the drainage system.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm still learning every day, but, we came across those bridges in negative and positive ways, and that's where we developed our technique.
I think in what you're doing, the value of experience there is so critical because I think there are a lot of young guys out there that would run across a bushy broad that would tell them like, no, I want it to look like this, and then they would just do it. Right. You know what I mean? And know that it's not going to work, but they're thinking in the back of their mind, they're going, I just need to make this person happy.
It's more of like, hey, I'm getting ready to sell this house is the aesthetic scenario, and it's not like I live here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where I guess that 20% would come in. And so like, I don't really care. I just need to look good for pictures, make it pretty, put lipstick on a pig, and let's sell it.
Yeah.
Well, how has the economy affected what people are doing with their landscaping scenarios these days? For you, what do you see? Are people just in general not doing as much? Are they going, hey, I'm going to finance it? Or what do you see is happening?
So there's always like new challenges, like there's new companies always starting up, there's new people developing, maybe they've seen what I've done, they've seen what the other companies done. So, what I've noticed is that God's always been on my side, there's always been work. We've consecutively been 3 weeks to a month out since I can't remember. But as my company grows, I have to feed the beast more. So I haven't seen a hit yet, but we do get into scary moments, and we just keep putting our feet forward, and it's been a blessing. So I haven't had like, oh my God, I have nothing for my guys to do.
Right. Yeah.
It's never been a scenario.
But I imagine it's never been like the same thing over and over again. I mean, like this recent surge in storms has created all sorts of unique problems that are probably not part of the regular calendar work. Because like the hurricane this year was super early.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, because hurricane season really doesn't start till like next month. I mean, like I know a hurricane season is bigger than that, but like
traditionally in Texas, it's September. So let me ask you this, related to that. I realized that this last hurricane was so much different than Harvey was. But we got a lot of high winds. It came very quickly, and trees were over like crazy. Trees that withstood Ike, which was also a very windy storm. Do you think? I'm curious. I've kind of thought in my own, trying to reason everything out. The last 2 years of drought may have damaged some of these trees to where this wind comes in and they just, we also got a ton of water at the beginning of the season. So you got damaged trees from the drought, you got flooded soil and roots from the rain early on. Do you think any of that contributed to what happened, or do you think it's just going to happen no matter what?
I mean, I've noticed personally, like in my neighborhood, it's constant like, hey, stop watering your grass as much, so, we have had a lot more droughts. The roots are coming up to the surface to breathe and find water, so I would say, I'm not an arborist, I'm an honest person, so I'll say things like that,
Good to know.
but I would say it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was huge trees, like you said, that have, there was one job that we did where it was almost sad to, I'm sure there's a lot of scenarios, but one I saw personally, the house was almost gone because of the way the trees hit the house.
Yeah.
And it was just like, here's the price,
Yeah.
and insurance was taking care of it, but it's just like these people have to like move and live in another spot. It's like, even though insurance is paying for it, I know it wasn't like convenient for them.
No, absolutely. So here's what I'll tell everybody listening. I'm not an arborist either, but I grew up with a horticulturist. And what I do know about trees is when you start seeing like those little scrub branches at the bottom, towards the bottom, like the new branches that start coming out, when you start seeing a bunch of those towards the bottom of the tree, when you have a mature tree that's really tall, that's when you know a tree's under a lot of stress. Okay. Now, whether that's water, disease, insects, whatever, could be a lot of things, but it's a good indication that tree is under some kind of stress, and you probably ought to pay attention to what's happening because it's trying to do some things to remediate the problems that it's experiencing. A lot of times it's water. When you see the scrub branches start coming up, those fresh green branches, it's looking for a new water source, or it's looking to create some shade, to create some compensation, and so that can be something that's going on. I'm sure you know that.
I've heard things and I absorb information, so that's why I said what I said. It was on the same line. But, whenever you started saying, like, oh, I'm certified in this and that, you know what I mean? It just goes down the whole left field and it takes you a path you don't want to be.
Well, yeah, when you're not licensed and you're not an expert, you can step on yourself and say things because you're not an expert, right? But, like, you probably have enough experience to go, that tree's under stress. Well, we've been told our warning is here, so your time is up. Thank you for coming. I know it does not take long. She runs them through.
I like that. Hey, it was a pleasure to see you guys again.
Dude, good to see you.
You guys always come with the best questions.
Well, thank you. Hey, before you leave, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
So, FaustLandscapingLLC.com. Facebook page is the same. Phone number is 936-207-323.
All right. Thanks very much. Wear those green shades, man. Yeah, they look good on you. That's right. Have we done a spot for True Texas? We have not. So let's do that now. Let's do that real quick. Guys, look. If you're all this storm talk, there are neighborhoods that were literally without power for almost 3 weeks. Right. And if you were living in one of those communities and you were tired of living in a house that had no air conditioning, no electricity, you don't have to. Like, you need independent sources of power other than the terrible grid that is Texas. Oh my goodness, and it's getting worse. It does feel like it's getting worse. And companies like True Texas Solar are the kinds of experts that you want on your side that are going to be honest with you, that are going to provide you with accurate information, and give you the right system that you need in order to provide power for your home when the grid.
Man, glasses, no glasses, the glare mess things up.
You with a
The glare mess things up.
integrated
No
system
glasses.
that will give you solar, generator backup, battery backup, that will provide your power at home so that when disaster comes, you don't have to worry about staying cool. You don't have to worry about your food spoiling. You don't have to worry about all those things. You can live in comfort in your home. And
you're probably going to have a reduction in your tolerance.
Yeah, and that's what's so important. Take care of your home, take care of your family, take care of your finances, and find people that are trustworthy, reputable, and do everything they need. So give them a call.
Yep, and as we've mentioned so many times before, these aren't just like a fly-by-night solar company.
No.
Like so many of these solar companies that we meet just have like some Joe Schmuck that's a good salesman,
Right.
That's willing to talk people into getting solar.
That's it.
These are actual experts, meteorologists, NASA engineers, other kinds of electrical engineers. I mean, like they have a staff of people that really know what they're talking about that want to help.
Right.
Give them a call.
Give them a call, 936-286-8325. That's 936-286-8325. All right. So we have a new guest. I'm trying to determine who this guest is because my guess is that he's been mistaken for a specific person more than once in his life. I don't know.
Oh man. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just asking. My name's Kevin. Introduce yourself. Tell me what you do.
I knew it was Kevin. I am not Kevin Hart.
Okay.
That are listening.
I'm just asking.
Think I'm Kevin Hart.
Alex
Does it
told
happen?
me that he's willing to spar with you after the
Oh,
show.
heck no.
I'm actually a Krav Maga instructor. So.
Yeah, exactly. You want a drink? I'll buy you a drink.
Hey, sure. I can operate under those conditions as well.
He'll take you.
I'm assuming that it's been mistaken before. People have asked.
Every day.
Yeah, I bet.
Every day.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there are worse people in the world to be considered.
I'm not mad about
Do
it.
you have a type 10? I mean, can you...
Do I have a type?
A type 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You do the comedy circuit?
Oh, yeah. I get paid to make people laugh. It's just a byproduct of actually paying me to do other things. But
That's right.
yeah.
You can laugh or I'll choke you out? Is that the...
That's it.
Yeah. Or you can laugh while I choke you.
That's
That's what ends up happening most of the time.
That's it.
Is-
Awesome.
Yeah, because their nervous reactors, start to go off. So people laugh when they're nervous. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll make you laugh.
That's awesome. Well, tell us your name. Tell us what you do. We already kind of alluded to it.
Krav Maga, Alex.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah, my name is Alex Gardner, and I teach Krav Maga and kickboxing. So I'm a Krav Maga instructor.
Okay, tell me what Krav Maga is.
Oh my goodness. Developed in Israel, but more specifically in layman's terms, if I use that correctly.
Yeah.
It uses your body's natural responses to respond to threats and danger. It's like jiu-jitsu with guns and knives.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah. That's the easiest way to put it. But yeah, it was developed for the military and law enforcement. So the concept was traditionally it takes 3 years to get from a white belt to a black belt in martial arts. Someone that's about to get deployed into war, I'm leaving for war in 6 weeks.
Right.
I need to learn something that can help save my life if things go south while I'm at war. I don't have 3 years. I've got 6 weeks for you to teach me something that's effective if I lose my weapon. Krav Maga.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, are you a marksman on top of this, or is it just teach you what to do?
It's more like taking guns away from people,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Like taking guns away. I do not claim to be a marksman. I know a lot of marksmen and firearms instructors.
Okay.
That's more of an obvious collab and a great one because you can know how to take a gun away from someone, but if you've never fired a weapon, then they'll just take it right back.
Yeah.
So it's a good collab, a good partnership.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I know, is it kendo? It's like the old Japanese one that's like how to fight against swords when you're unarmed.
Kimpo?
Kimpo, is that what it is?
Kimpo. I know of Kimpo. Kendo.
I know about kimchi.
Kim her.
Don't misgender me.
Oh man.
Isn't that the Steven Seagal one?
That's Aikido.
Aikido.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so like,
Aikido.
is it Krav Maga's like the modern version of that, right? Because like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can say that because it goes with the flow and there's some Aikido aspects in Krav.
Because like
Mine
Aikido is like
pressure.
against swords, right? I mean, like
Aikido is joint manipulation.
okay.
So like if
Ouch.
you twist someone's wrist, they'll go one way every time
Uh-huh.
because your wrist isn't meant to bend that way.
Sort of like
it's
chin hop.
Kin
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
joint manipulation, pain response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
So this is why I'm asking because I don't know. I've just heard things over the years. And I don't know how they all work together. But like,
Yeah,
So who whenever you're doing instruction, who are you teaching and like is it typically short stints? We're going to do this for a little while.
get an army of 5-year-olds that know how to take guns away from people.
And that, I guess,
Actually,
yeah.
that's true.
And I'm wondering, like, do you work with children? Do you work with adults? Do you work with military? Like, who do you work with?
Yeah, so we start actually at 4 years old.
Okay.
And it doesn't start with Krav Maga right away. You kind of have to baby step into that. We actually don't start teaching the Krav until about 8 years old, maybe 7 or 8 years old. Between 4 and 6, if you will, or let's call it between 4 and 7, we teach kickboxing. So the fundamentals, getting a good foundation, so that when you do step into the world of Krav, you have a solid base and you're not just going and doing whatever. Because if you don't have a solid base, you can be overwhelmed very fast. If I'm doing like a one-day event with women's self-defense or gun and knife defense seminar, then it's a crash course, 2 hours of training, or basically 3 months of training in 2 hours. But that's a crash course, and it's not expected to be remembered within 48 hours.
Yeah, there's definitely not going to be something that they look at 3 weeks from now and go, oh, I know exactly, I'm an expert at this.
Yeah.
No, you're going to have to practice. Right.
Yeah, I've worked with military before, but it was way back when. A lot of my friends work with military and law enforcement. They actually have military and law enforcement as their students. Like some law enforcement officers that don't do self-defense training on a regular basis, they'll sign up with this program to train twice a week on their muscle memory skills. So a lot of my friends do that. Me being super brand new to this area, or this brand, being brand new, I haven't gotten that base yet. But I've worked with several law enforcement in the military. Yeah, it's a good time.
I would imagine that would be a good resource for like local law enforcement.
Yeah, it actually kind of blew my mind when I first discovered that they didn't do training on a regular basis. Because you being a cop, you're in harm's way more often than me. And I do this for a living. So I would think that ratio would be.
Yeah, but you've also got to have police departments in the cities that are willing to fund that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's a whole other can of worms. But one of the things the reason I bring that up though is like there's got to be some sort of education out there too of like, look, you need this type of training. This type of training, while you may look at it and go, hey, the funding is this. What happens whenever your law officer doesn't know what they're doing, get hurt on the job? You're going to have to pay out medical bills. You're going to have to pay out, time off, and all of these sorts of things. When if you were to just train them up front, you're going to have stronger, smarter, more efficient officers to handle it. So I just feel like there's got to be some training out there too.
Yeah, I completely
Education.
agree.
Sorry, not training. Education.
Yeah,
So,
I completely agree.
And then training.
Yeah, that's why. So a market that I've stepped into recently was real estate. So real estate agents. I work with a lot of real estate agents.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's crazy because
particularly female agents, I'd imagine.
Yes, I've heard horror stories of female agents showing open houses, and the horror stories that came behind that. And you got real estate agents getting sexually assaulted and killed. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
So when I was actually contacted to do like some sort of training, and I actually partnered with, I think it was Goosehead Insurance and Remax, and we actually did a training at an open house, well, in a model home, within a model home, and I had maybe 10 or 15 such a great time. What I do is I call them what if scenarios.
Yes.
So I'll act as the client, and she'll be showing me a room. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, while she's showing me the room, I'll push her on the bed, and I'll start reaching for things in real time. And she has to do the maneuver that we did downstairs with the group, and then we'll go back downstairs and run it back and run.
That is one of the most
Best
valuable
time.
things you can do, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, because it's all scenario driven. It's not I teach you these specific moves and good luck. It's what if.
Right.
So what if scenario. What if I'm showing a client a house and they grab me by the mouth and pull me in the closet? Right. Okay. Stacy, I want you to grab Sarah by the mouth and pull her in the closet and then do X, Y, Z. And we'll actually drill that scenario with the group. And the thing is, it's a fun time because you're doing this in a safe space with friends.
Right.
But in the back of your mind, you're like, man, this could really happen
Yes.
in real life. So your brain is going through this mental war of fun and fear and anxiety and safety and friendship. So I become a therapist
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah, I'm like, it's okay.
Really, really good stuff, man. And we wish we had more time to kind of talk more about what you're doing. But I think it's
Absolutely.
very valuable. I'll tell a quick story because I know Sarah's giving us the thing. But like, so I took a anti-terrorism class for situational shooting. You know, so
Like active shooter?
active shooter, right? And you know, so many like you can go to the gun range all you want, and you can hit dead center all you want. The difference is that your gun is already unholstered, and so we were actually out there, and there was an older lady that had a revolver.
Oh, wow.
And like just it being, and all it was a milk carton full of Jello. And what we were trying to do is show what different ammunition did to the body. This woman had clearly never unholstered her weapon and fired. You know, like because like when you go to the range, you set your gun on the table, you load it there, and then you shoot down range. Pulling it from your holster and then firing is a totally different situation. So she goes to pull her revolver out of her hip holster, and when she does, it flips in the air.
No.
And you know, one of the things that they'll tell you, any shooting instructor is like, look, if you lose control of your weapon, just let it fall to the ground. So she starts grabbing in the air.
No.
Trying to grab and get it back in the center, and like all of us are ducking for cover, diving behind whatever we can get because we know that this weapon's about to go off. Yes.
Bro, yeah. Yo, bullets go at 1,100 feet per second.
And
You
so
don't have time?
the shooting instructor literally just reaches across and just slaps her in the face in order to bring her to a halt.
Yeah.
Because he knows that it's like a dangerous situation, and like that's the only thing he can do to get her to cease. You know, and like so situational stuff like what you're talking about is so valuable because you don't know how you're going to feel, you don't know how you're going to think in the moment until someone puts you in the moment. And it's so difficult to create those kinds of scenarios. But that's cool that you're doing that in homes because agents, man, like that's such a vulnerable situation.
That's my goal. Bring it to you.
Well, dude, how do they get a hold of you? How do they get that good training? How do they save their own lives?
Hell yeah, I'm on Instagram. Sensei_Alex is my handle. I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere. I can give out my personal phone number, but I won't do that because I'm married. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Instagram, Alpha Martial Arts on Facebook. Check me out.
Thank you so much for sitting down, dude.
Thank you.
Good convo. All right. We got new blood. New blood. That's it. Come on. This is a veteran. Yes.
A veteran, one-time veteran.
One-time veteran. So you'll be twice as good as you were before.
I hope so. I really do hope so.
It looks fantastic. Great.
Look fantastic. And
It'd be stupid to tell you.
I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't.
Okay, you better tell me if it's stupid.
Stupid, no.
I mean, what is going on right now?
No, you look great.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I need a mirror.
I don't even have any hair, all right? So look, it could be worse. It could be so much worse.
Well, awesome.
Awesome. Well, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
All right, so I am Hope Moore, and I am the Business Development Officer for Stewart Title. I work out of the Magnolia and Emerald offices. Magnolia, 1488, 2978 intersection. Stop me right now. Do not be touring people from my office, sir. And secondly, 336, 105, or 336, 45, depending on the north side.
Awesome. Kevin learned a couple of new words driving that area today.
Yes.
You learn new words? Tell me.
Yes.
What were they?
Oh, they're not repeatable.
No.
Oh.
Not a mixed company for sure. Yeah.
Depends on what you call Mexican.
Well, so
I actually have a good kickoff question because this, I don't know if you've been doing this with people. Kevin and I had an interesting conversation last night about flat earthers.
Flat earthers?
I've been waiting.
It is totally a thing. Have you not seen this? Oh,
Do I live under a rock?
I don't mean to send you down like an internet rabbit hole, but like go home and enjoy yourself.
Okay. I'm gonna have to
Lots of attractive people.
Interesting.
So okay, let's just start with this premise. There are people in this world that believe that the Earth is flat, like legit believe that the Earth is flat. Okay. Just,
I'm going with it.
okay, go with it.
I'm rolling with it.
Here's my question. If let's accept their premise, the Earth is flat, would it then follow that the Moon is flat? I would think so.
okay, well, if that's the case, then I have a scenario that where the Earth is on a horizontal plane, the Moon must be on a vertical plane. How else would you see it?
I don't know, but that is beyond my.
Or how would you see it in anything other than a three-dimensional space?
You couldn't.
No. It would have to be. But like, if it is flat, then you're seeing it in two-dimensional space because you never see the other side of it, or a side of it.
Right. No, that's absolutely true. It's the only way that it's the
And
only option.
it's a difficult question that no one's answering.
Right.
Because it's not a thing.
Totally is a thing.
It's not a thing. Like, our things are round.
To
That's
rational
how it works.
Look, I'm telling you, if you pick up your phone right now and you go to YouTube and you just type in the word flat Earth, you will be inundated with content. It is nuts.
Yeah.
That is insane. I would
Don't
if
do
wasn't
it.
dead.
Don't do it. You don't have time for it, I promise.
She's gonna be tempted
I don't.
later. She's like, Craig told me, and I don't believe him, and then she's
I
gonna be in real
know.
trouble.
I know.
Good
I'm
luck.
gonna lay in bed later. Flat Earth.
So, but we also want Hope is not a flat earther.
No, I am not.
Yeah.
Sorry to bust everybody's
Bubble is a bubble. Okay.
It's
Bubbles
a
are flat.
We told you it's a
Bubbles
rabbit
flat?
hole. It's a rabbit hole.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, gentlemen.
But so okay, so we talked earlier with Corey about all this new NAR stuff.
Yeah.
Is that affecting you at all?
No.
Okay.
It is truly out of my
I didn't know if it's like changing the way you guys do fee structure.
fee structure. No, like what they have to provide to us. Yes. At the end of the day, it is something that we need to know about.
You need
It
to
is.
see if they're complying.
I mean, we need to see whatever is in place for commissions, etc. So obviously, we're the back end of that.
Right.
So it's on the agent to get us what we need to make sure that all of that is kind of set in place to get them what they need at the end of the day. So whatever the commissions are, whatever that the CD, the crazy disclosure looks like for the customer to see, all that has to be pre-done. So we have to know what the commission is. We have to know all those things up front. So
It's like as of this past Saturday.
yeah. Yeah, it's really a big deal for them. It really
The
is.
agents.
Yes, and as long as the real estate agent is communicative with us and we know what's going on the front end, everything at closing will be good. So,
You're going to do your job.
absolutely. Like, we do what the agent tells us.
This is a question we had last. We did an episode last night on this whole thing. We did kind of a deep dive on it, and the question that we couldn't find an answer to is what happens if you don't get it? Yeah, this is like because we were trying to. Okay, so like the NAR is not a government agency. They're more like a union or a what did we say?
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
But like a national chamber of commerce.
Absolutely.
And like you can't be called a realtor unless you're a member. And so like it's like what happens if you don't comply? I don't know. Is it fines? Okay.
I would speculate. I do not know that for a fact.
No, I'm
But I would speculate that there is a fine. If things are not done in compliance, I would assume there's a fine. And I have heard that, but I've heard so many stories. I've heard so many opinions. I've heard lots of people upset.
That's what makes it weird for me is because like in my business, like we are controlled by like the state government and then we have federal laws that we have to follow. And if we don't, there are agencies that step in to gently correct us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As title insurance, I mean, we follow TDI, which is Texas Department of Insurance.
Okay.
So that is our compliance. And so we have to follow
is that
those
its own
regulations.
department in the Texas government? Like their own like
They should have
is it like the Texas Department of Agriculture? It's its own
I would
office.
assume it is similar.
Okay.
Yes. But it is regulated. Like our fees, what we charge for title insurance
Are regulated by them?
upon sales price is absolutely regulated by TDI.
Okay. And is it a percentage base or is it like a flat fee? Oh, it's percentage base. I see.
But yes, it is a percentage base
Yeah.
off of the sales price.
Okay.
So, and it is regulated. All title companies, not just Stewart Title, all title companies are regulated by the state.
Right. And so, like, does your percentage come out of the seller and or buyer's commission?
Closing costs.
It's like an insurance policy. It's similar in a sense to your health or your car insurance.
Right. Well, this is probably not fair because we're talking about it because we all know, like, there's a lot of people that don't know actually what title service is.
Right? I've worked for Stewart Title for 10 and a half years. But prior to working for Stewart Title, I had no clue.
Right.
I was in my early 30s. And so I had no clue what title insurance was. I never bought a house before. So truly until you go through the steps
Right.
and you go through the motions of buying a home, you don't know what title insurance is.
Right. So briefly, what does it do?
So title insurance, it's a little different. So you have health insurance, you have car insurance, you have home insurance. All those things protect you from the disease, right? Hurricanes, water damage, car accidents, all the things. Those insurance policies protect you from the disease. Our title insurance protects you from the past.
Okay.
So you're
Okay,
buying.
that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Absolutely. Like, so you're buying a house, and the people prior to you that owned it, say you're buying from someone else, they have liens or back taxes or a numerous amount of things that could go against the property. We would make sure that none of that is still against the property moving forward.
Right.
So we would clean it up. We would check for, we want a title report. You see all the things that could potentially be against the property. It gets cleaned up, and then you buy the property clean too.
Right.
So
by cleaning it up, do you mean like you're informing the seller so that they can reconcile any liens or anything like that?
no, like you clean it up prior to you sitting at that closing table.
Okay.
So
if
we
you
work
don't-
with the seller when you don't close.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to buy a house that
No, I-
has back taxes on it?
I mean, I'm wondering if there's a scenario where like a buyer is like, look, I'm willing to I like this house and I'm willing to pay those things to get the house ready.
I think that all things are negotiable.
Right.
So I really can't speak too far in depth towards that. I think all things are negotiable. However, it's up to the seller to clean things up, pay things off, do what they have to do to make sure that it's okay to pass on to the buyer.
But I mean, from the title company's perspective, would a buyer who's willing to reconcile those debts be an acceptable proposition? Or do you even know? I mean, that may not be something you've ever come across.
And in my career, it's nothing that I've ever spoken about.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that can't ever happen, and it may have happened prior
Yeah.
to now. but it's nothing that I've ever witnessed.
So it'd be very,
So to
very
speak.
rare if that were to come up.
I think so.
I mean, if it's been 10 years, you've never come across it. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of out of my realm of what happens at the closing table.
I know.
But maybe that's a question for Corey.
Could be. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
It's worth asking.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, like that could potentially be a strong negotiating point.
Sure.
You know, like if you have some contract liens, you know, and like you just didn't even know it. I mean, like, 'cause that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
I imagine
contractor liens, there's mechanic liens, there's all kinds of things. There's heirs that's crazy to clean up.
Oh, so like when like somebody passes away, you have to go through and find all the family members that have claim.
Yes, and sometimes there's heirs that people don't know about.
Yeah. Which just so everyone knows, you can avoid that by having a good estate attorney put your stuff in order and have a trust.
Yes, do all the right things. Do all the right things.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's heirship affidavits, there's probates, there's all the things that have to be put in place to make sure that things are easily taken care of with someone else.
Yeah.
So,
What's the weirdest scenario you've come across? Is that like you can't think of one, or like you don't want to say?
I would definitely say, without kind of pinpointing or going too deep, it's always heirs.
Okay.
It's always heirs that the family doesn't know about.
Like some weird third cousin.
Like double life stuff.
Double life?
Double life.
What's that? Oh, like where like they had like a second family in another city or something? Did you come across that?
Yes.
Oh wow.
How many times?
I don't know.
Today. How many times
I
today?
don't know.
Give a rough guesstimate. More than 5?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
No, I would not say more than 5.
So-
That's a good stopping point. But no, it does happen. It does happen. It is sad for part of the family.
It just has to break
It's
people's
heartbreaking.
hearts.
Yeah. But you have to kind of roll with those punches to get things done for the house to be able to sell.
I'm always curious in situations like that is if there's one family that knows and the other one that doesn't. Oh, you know what I mean?
Surely they don't.
There
I don't
are
know.
times.
I don't know.
There are times, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
But, okay. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Don't be
Probate your
stupid.
wills.
Yeah. Don't be stupid. That's really where it comes
Okay,
down
so
to.
I'm gonna give the internet my marriage advice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, like look, this is and like this isn't tried and true. I've just found it to be very helpful for young couples.
Okay, here we go.
Okay,
Okay, I'm listening. Let's do this.
go through 4 seasons with them.
Like spring,
Yes.
winter, summer.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason being is because if you go through 4 seasons with them before you marry them, you're going to have to go through Christmas, you're going to have to go through Thanksgiving, you're going to have to go through Easter, you're going to have to go through Valentine's Day. There's all these holidays, and you're going to realize what expectations are put upon you by this person, right? You're going to realize whether or not this family has weird traditions.
Everybody does.
Or what the other person's expectation.
Yes. You know, and so like if you can do that and then you can be like, you know what? I still want to be with this person. I still love this person. It's worth it even though there's a bunch of crazy.
There's true love then.
The true love.
True love.
If you can do that, then you got a good shot. You got a decent shot. If you don't do that, now look, that's not tried and true. I've met plenty of people that got married in 3 months and they've been married for 40 years and still going strong. It doesn't.
It's not
It's not a hard and fast rule. Right. It's just it's a good bit of advice for people to try out. And say, like, look, before you make this life-altering decision, try some stuff out.
4 seasons. I need you to go to the 4 seasons and do all the things.
I could be a spokesman for the hotel.
all right.
It should be their tagline.
It should. Reach out to me. I got
Yes.
Well, people want to get a hold of you and ask some time for questions, which I know probably realtors and people like that. How would they get a hold of you?
So quickly, I just want to say I have 5 escrow officers total. I
Okay.
have 3 in Magnolia, 2 in Conroe. I would say combined experience between the 5 of them. I would say almost 200 years experience. With working under a company that's 130 years old. So I say that because I truly think it brings great value to the table.
Can you tell me it's like the oldest title company in Texas or something
I
like
think
that?
we're right alongside maybe another one or two,
Okay,
but
okay.
we are definitely one of the oldest title companies.
Right.
Our original office still stands in Galveston, Texas. So, I think that working with a solid group of escrow officers, getting to that closing table, making sure that you're working with people with experience and knowledge in the industry to get you there. To get you there, you want to work with people with experience.
Absolutely.
So, and with a company, obviously, that's been around the block a time or two.
That's right.
It's still standing in Galveston.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Well,
But, again, my name is Hope.
there you go.
My email is hope.moy, M-O-Y-E, @stewart.com. And my cell is 346-224-1908. Again, it's 346-224-1908. I'd love to answer any questions or help anybody that's buying or selling a house, and would love to have them close their title.
Awesome. Good to hear from you.
Thank
for
you
sitting down with
guys.
us.
It's so good to see you again.
You too. I don't know if it's going to get taken down because we have the Astros in the background.
Well,
Are we unintentionally rebroadcasting?
don't say it.
We had nothing. Oh, look, it just got turned off.
Oh, it did.
We're more important than them.
That's right. How about that?
Taken?
Yeah, come on.
They're losing.
They're
That's
losing.
why
That's why
people are
turned it
turning on because they're losing.
to Boston. Oh, no, it's back.
Yeah,
It's back.
it's back. Sorry, what'd you say?
Cool.
Turn and burn me 5 minutes.
5
In and
minutes.
out. Oh. Okay.
Act like you've been here before,
I
JJ.
know, I've never been before.
Marianne's sidling you there.
So nice. I forget how,
Takes all the noise away.
You can move the microphone toward you. You want to be up on it, all up on it. There you go. That's it. Oh, you did.
Which one?
Good. Yeah, it was produced and hosted by someone named Dick, and he is one of the
Dick Schisler.
yes.
Yeah. He helped host the show last time we were here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's the best.
So I've known Dick since he was in 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I played baseball with his younger brother. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I wanted him to come tonight.
He should have.
You should have.
Lone Star.
And it's in this exact clip.
He does the early morning show. He can't be out here with us tonight.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for people that haven't met you yet, who are you?
I'm JoJo. Oh my God, where do we begin?
Founder of the Feast.
I'm technically yes. Someone asked, a member introduced me to someone new and was like, "This is the founder of the net." And I'm like, okay, but yeah, but really. And then I started pointing to people they founded the net, they founded the net, they founded the net, and they founded the net. I just pay taxes.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Yeah. You get the privilege.
I get the privilege
The opportunity to pay
being
taxes.
and being the scapegoat
That's
for
right.
all the mistakes. It's fine. But no, really, I truly at the team out there in February will be our 5 years.
Awesome.
So I want to do a kind of award ceremony, with the 5-year ones to get a little pin and stuff. I really want to celebrate the commitment that we all make to each other.
Yeah.
It's super important, but this network has changed my entire life. So.
So you want to fully embrace these moments.
Yeah, absolutely. Aggies have their ring dunk, and we're gonna have pennies. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
I have never burped so much in my life.
What kind of beer did you have in your pitcher?
Shiner, because that's all I could
Good
afford.
for you.
Oh, well, hey.
Good for you.
But that's a, I mean, to down that.
That's a decent beer.
To down
Well,
that.
it's like it's a heavier beer and it's
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of beer.
Yeah.
That's
That's tough to down in one sip.
yeah. I've got a picture of it somewhere.
I don't believe it.
Is Brandy an Aggie?
No, thank you. We didn't
I
meet
knew I
until
liked
after
her.
college.
Oh, that's right.
She went.
Brandy's his wife, but I'm sure you'll
My
know.
wife, who's not here to give me a sneak up sneak, as is tradition. No, she went to DBU,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
up in
yeah.
Dallas. Which,
Yeah.
for those of you, like, it's a very pretty campus, but it's right next to the Potter's House. For those of you in the church world, it's TDJ's.
Yeah. It's a big place.
It's a big place, and so like they don't like each other.
Oh, I bet they do.
Because the reason is because they have a lot of students that live on campus,
Uh-huh.
and on Sundays, like the students have nowhere to park and try to get out. Because it's such a huge church.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with like knowledge. Well, there's probably some theological problem.
Probably.
But for the most part, it's parking.
Yeah.
As good Baptists.
Yeah. Well, I've been to that church one time.
You've been to the Potter's House?
I have one time, but not to see TDJs, which I kind of wish I had. But back when the silver ring thing was a thing, the silver ring thing, it's a whole chastity belt thing.
Okay.
That's true love weights, right? Like it's that type of thing. It's a silver ring thing, and they were doing an event, and I brought a group.
See, we grew up in totally different church cultures, man. For me, it was like Kiss Dating Goodbye by John
Yes.
He has since renounced that book.
Yes, he has, and renounced a lot of things.
Yes.
Honestly, props to that. I have so much respect for someone who can like look at something they've done in the past and be like, that might not be well, and I should try my
Yeah.
That's exactly where he's
What a
at.
concept!
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be completely fair, I don't know that his renouncement is such a. I mean, I think he's pretty much like renounced his faith.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think he used like people's feedback on his book as like, I hate Christianity because of how awful you guys have treated me. Yeah, which fair enough. But yeah, I don't. That hasn't been like a hot thing. I don't think.
He was always young whenever I wrote it.
He was like 23 or something like that. Yeah, crazy though.
Yeah, this has a lot to do with the net.
Absolutely.
Affordable
Yeah.
airfares.
Abstinence.
oh, sorry. I could just talk to y'all like about anything. Seriously, when people, I have members who've never done this show before, will BTS behind the scenes and they're freaked out. They'll like call me like, I didn't prepare for this, like what do I do? Blah blah blah. They are the best, like they will hold your hand, they'll walk you through it, they ask questions, you ask great questions. It's an actual skill. You know what I mean? I don't get a lot of dead air when I listen to your shows, which is wonderful.
I appreciate the fact that you listen to our show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's how I learned not to have Amazon boxes.
Oh, yes.
There it is.
It is important.
It's all been worth it.
That one stuck to me.
Yeah.
That was that person.
Dude, we just did an episode 2 episodes ago about that. Like I did a whole class on pest control stuff, and then I think we talked about it last night. We did, and there was a clip that we dropped, and this gal dropped a comment, and she said, "Yeah, I just had a box come in from Amazon, and it was full of bugs."
Oh my goodness.
And there are stories trending on all sorts of social media platforms, and the big one right now is like people think that they're getting infected with bed bugs because of Amazon products.
But I don't doubt it. I mean, these boxes are in warehouses. They're not pest control in those warehouses.
Yeah, no, look, I bid those warehouses.
And you know why they're not doing it? Because of your bid. They don't want to pay it.
They don't want to pay it.
And I get that.
Look,
I understand.
But you're talking about like 50,000, 100,000 square foot warehouses. And like, you talk about how long it's going to take somebody to actually do the work there. I think they definitely don't want to pay it.
Right.
But I had somebody else comment on one of our other ones, and they said, well, most of that stuff is international. So if it's coming through an international port, they're expecting it and they're fumigating it. I said, yeah, absolutely are. But then it goes to the warehouse that's full of bugs.
Right. And so the very next 15 minutes that it's in that place, it's infected.
Hey, this place is empty.
So basically, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Well, you can't because we just got 2-minute warning.
But
So
even better, the net level of networking has changed my entire life. I've met these wonderful individuals. I've learned things I would never learn otherwise. I've gotten freedom to improve my child. I've watched other people become successful beyond their own wildest dreams. That's been like the most rewarding part.
Yeah.
So I will drop a link in the comments when y'all post it, just so you know.
It's live right now.
Oh, it's like, shoot. So when I walk away, I'm going to drop a link in the comments. Come just check us out. We're not timeshare vibes. I really don't want, I don't want to force people. You have to, go in. You have to fit.
this isn't like B and I. It's different.
Not to call anyone out.
No, but but I can, but I can because
You
I'm
can,
I'm not the net, and I'm not a part of either one of them, so I can say it. That there's so many regulations in some of these networking groups, and truly what you've created is an opportunity to be friends and to go, look, I got your back, you got my back, and yeah, we're gonna help each other. We're gonna refer each other, but at the same time, if you don't refer me for you don't get kicked out.
No,
Right.
everyone's cousin is a roofer or a
Right.
realtor. We don't expect undying loyalty. You have to get to know people and create relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
They're awesome.
If people want to join, or if they want to get some air repair, heating and air conditioning,
That's affordable.
It's affordable. How do you get up?
There you go. I'm going to drop a link in the comments for my AC business that I run with my husband. And then also, if you'd like to come check out a meeting, that is kind of like the prerequisite to applying because we don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste our readers' time. So come check us out and see if we're a good fit for you and that we can help grow your business. And if you think we can, then go ahead and apply.
Perfect.
Dude, you see how like she's a pro? Like she knows how to look at the camera.
She does. Yeah, she's a pro.
Okay,
I'm
so
about to mess it up.
no, take it.
Fine.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody, like, do you guys know that there is an AI tool now that if you take a video and you're not looking at the camera,
It will
reorient your eyes to make it look like you're looking
So
directly.
you're like,
Yeah, if you're all like cross-eyed, it'll straighten you right out. No, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
that's super bizarre.
And it's like it legit works.
It
I
does.
swear I'm listening. I promise.
No, you're good. Take your picture.
Fine. You have to leave though.
Well, thank you guys. Take your selfies. Best content ever. Okay, one more. I'll put this in the comments. Cute. Okay, love y'all. Bye.
See ya.
Y'all are awesome.
All right. Well, before our next contestant comes, we should plug our sponsor.
Our sponsors?
Yes.
Doing both?
Yeah, let's do both.
Yeah, so tonight's episode is brought to you by Lone Star Appliance Repair, the best appliance repair company in the state of Texas. They've even got the Lone Star colors. If you want your appliance repaired quickly and properly and is up to snuff with how it used to behave when you first bought it,
Yes.
give them a call. What's the number?
The number is 936-647-2364. And now we're going to talk about our other sponsor, which is True Texas Solar and Roofing.
So look, if you're looking for energy independence, and we're about to talk to a guy that actually understands the electricity behind these systems. But look, if you want energy independence, get True Texas Solar. They have the integrity, they have the expertise, they have the manpower to get you off the grid, even though you're not technically off the grid, to get you solar panels, to get you generator backups, to get you whole home battery backups. That's hard to say. Whole home battery backups.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, there we go. And look, they can get you the full suite of energy independence and get you back in control of your power. And if you live in a county, if you live in a with a provider that actually allows you to sell your energy back to the grid, all the better, because they can provide you a system that creates more energy than what you need, and you can actually begin to make money back from your investment. That's it. So, and it's one of the biggest investments you can put in your home these days. A lot of people are doing it. It's increasing the ROI when you go to sell your home. Give them a call. Kev, what's the number?
The number is 936-286-8325. 936-286-8325. All right. Excellent.
So listen, we have my buddy John Wagner sitting down. Everybody, pull that mic right up to your mouth.
Hello.
Is this guy gonna need to talk?
A little bit.
A little bit. You might want to like put it in between you and just kind of lean into it when you got something to say. Snuggle each other.
That sounds good.
Act
I'm
like you like
down for it.
Come on.
Let me know when you can hear me.
Yeah, just pull it up like right there. Is it gonna stay?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it. All right. Lean in there. So
Tight as it's going to get.
okay, so real quick, I mean, and so you can take this as a
There we go.
contractual obligation. Just come do that plug on my house
Yes, sir.
whenever you can.
Absolutely.
So just the one, but the 50 amp.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna do an inlet.
Well, he's coming to do it for me.
Yeah. I need something on my outside house.
Let me see you do it.
I
You
need
see what I did
That-
there?
That's up to him.
You see what I did there? I was like, when? Now, tomorrow.
I don't care when. Just come do it.
Probably like next Thursday. Or
That's
something.
fine.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
got you.
So, and you might need to I don't know. There's like some dirt operations going on. I apologize.
We can clean that out easily.
Okay.
Did it for your dad.
Fair, just, yeah.
Your dad had the same problems.
Well, so okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me
All right, yeah.
explain. When it's your turn, you talk.
Yeah.
Move that mic in front of your mouth.
All right,
When it's your
yeah.
turn, move it over to you.
Sounds
Because we need to really be.
Yeah, we need to be able to hear you.
Can you hear me okay right now?
Yeah. So, okay, I haven't told you about this, Kev. I actually want to know your theory on my dad's panel.
All right.
Here, tell me what's going on first.
Well, I never saw it. I just told him, I was like, look, call John. He'll come fix it.
You're
Okay.
talking about the latest repair I did?
Yes, the box down at the barn.
I think he hit it with his cutter.
You think he hit it?
Yeah.
Okay. So when
Yeah.
you got done, that's what he told me. Before that, he
Yep.
was like, I think somebody just whacked the hell out of my breaker box with a hammer.
Well, when we were walking out there, he told me that the potential for his yard cleaning machine, whatever it is, may have hit it. He's not 100% sure.
Sure.
But let's go take a look at it. It looks mechanically damaged, to be honest. It's mechanically damaged. There's no doubt about
So
that.
look, he's in Wyoming right now. There's no way he's listening to this.
No.
So I didn't see it, but he called me and he was like, I think someone beat the ever living hell out of my electrical panel. And I was like, why would somebody do that? He was like, I don't know.
It was the emus.
It was the
Oh,
you hear that story?
I did.
Oh, that's so good. That's
It
why.
was definitely the
That's
emus.
why the emus died.
For liability
I didn't want to
reasons,
make the
I don't
joke.
know that we can repeat that story, but yeah, that's a funny one. And we did it on another
Yeah.
episode.
We've talked
You
about
can go
it.
look it up.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
can leave it alone. I understand.
Go back through all the episodes till you find it.
Look, all I can say is you probably want to take my dad duck hunting.
Yeah.
He would be a great partner. I love that guy.
That's it.
Your dad is so solid. I had some pretty good conversations.
I-
Besides the work, we spent time together.
Good. He's a
I
good
love
man.
that guy.
I absolutely love him.
One of my favorite names.
Same.
Awesome. So, obviously, John, you do electrical.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean? Like, what all do you work
Listen,
on?
like, he does electrical work.
Yes.
But listen, let me just clarify something. Man cooks one of the best crawfish I've ever cooked.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Are you not familiar with Texas boil team?
Well, see, here's the thing. I was invited to one time, and I couldn't come.
Is that the one at my house?
Yeah, if you remember, I was
Okay.
there for a
Yeah.
moment, but then I had to leave.
Okay.
Because I think something happened and you weren't there on time. But I think it was, I'm
Yep.
blaming somebody else, nobody
Yep,
in particular.
We
that
were.
might be attached via a ring.
Right. And I would never, because I'm smarter than I look. So something happened and
Have
he
to
didn't
be.
show up whenever.
We were late that day. You know, whenever you plan for a party, you get a certain amount of people together, and we need this much crawfish. You don't plan for it; it ends up taking a little bit longer to wash than you think it does because we only bring like fresh, cold, no grass, no dirt, no mud, no snails, no nothing, no dead crawfish. It's all live, freshly cleaned that morning. Sometimes we had a bad season, so we had a bit of a overload of dead loss is what we call it.
Okay.
So we were a little behind schedule on getting that dead loss out, making sure we were
So
bringing the
you
best
were
product we
taking
had.
care of people.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
But-
good with it.
which I gotta say, I don't mind being 30, 45 minutes late if I'm not bringing any dead crawfish.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Is it still crawfish season right now?
I can get it, but it's not.
Okay. But all I know is that I missed it that day.
Yep.
That's
unfortunate.
It was so good. I'm sure it was.
We whipped it out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And like all the fixins.
Yeah.
The corn, taters, and the corn, and
There
the
was some
sausage.
extras too that some people showed up with.
Mushrooms too, in there, right?
There was mushrooms. Somebody brought like cabbage or something. There was a couple extra things. People like Brussels sprouts.
Dude,
Uh,
okay, let me
Green beans. I think somebody threw some green beans in there.
I think you're right. Okay, so have you ever tried kimchi in the crawfish?
Hey,
I
that's the second time
cannot say
today
that
we've
I
said
have.
that word. I said it once. Did you? Kim Her, remember?
Never.
I feel like it would be a hit if we did,
I
but
think
I have
so.
not.
Okay. I
think we ought to
That
try
sounds
that.
pretty good. We should.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to now.
I'm kind of down for it.
It's on the list. It's on the list of things to try.
I'm in on it.
You think all since 2016 was this 8 years now?
Yeah.
The Texas Bowl team. You'd think I'd have cooked it all.
Uh-huh.
There's always something new every year.
There you go.
Every now and then you get a party that's always something new.
One of the best dishes that I think I've ever made is some crawfish ramen.
My favorite. I've got to be honest. I made crawfish ramen.
Come on. Dude,
For real.
it's like the broth on it is just it's next level. It's so much better than other broths for ramen. I don't know why.
It hits the spot.
It does.
They like spice. They like sweetness. I mean, the way that we cook things,
Dude,
spot on.
I don't know if it's like because you have like the Jewish penicillin, which is basically chicken soup. That's got to be like Louisiana penicillin. I don't know what it is. I'm sure.
I see it like that myself.
Yeah.
if you eat enough cayenne.
Yeah. It'll work its way out.
Absolutely.
Whatever's in you, it's coming out.
That's right. Pretty much. Pretty much.
One way or the other. So, what do you guys? Are you guys doing a bunch of catering gigs right now?
So right now we're just preparing for next year.
Okay.
So we got the 25 season coming up. We got a big marketing campaign we're about to hit here in the next October, November-ish era.
Right.
Of the year coming up.
So what you're saying is now's the time to book.
Correct.
If you want 2025 crawfish parties.
Absolutely. We got some big sponsors coming in that are not just event sponsors, but whole season sponsors. We're about to completely redo our trailer, completely redo our experience for parties in general, bringing in other companies for vendors as well.
Right.
Our packages are not just limited to we're going to cook crawfish and serve you crawfish. Right.
Right.
Now we're partnered with multiple barbecue companies.
Okay.
We've got mobile bartending companies.
There you go.
That we're bringing in.
That's what you got to have.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you how many people are like, man, I wish this has been stressful getting all this put together.
Right.
And then they're short on alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? Sub it out.
So if there's beer companies out there that are looking for good partners, what you're saying is like, we got you.
Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it, man. So like if people want to book a date, like what do they need to be thinking about putting the deposit down?
So our deposits range depending on the
size of the party.
The size of the party, of course. You know, the smaller parties, we're looking at 50%. The bigger parties, 25%. It really depends on the situation, what it takes to get booked and hold your spot. It's kind of all over the place, case by case, honestly. You know, give us a call, talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to I'm spitballing here. I think. Are you familiar with Thistle?
I am.
So I think we need to talk about doing a dinner with Chef Trennis over there, maybe some crawfish. He'd be your biggest fan.
Thistle Draft House.
Chef Trennis. He's a good buddy. And
How often do you go to Thistle Draft House?
Often.
That's
he never
5 minutes
invites
from
me.
my house.
I know. They're a client of mine. And so
That makes sense. I haven't seen a single bug in that place.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Not
Except
one.
he never invites me.
Not even a fly, to be honest. It's pretty solid.
It's pretty
I would
clean.
love to be a fly on the wall. But I don't get invited.
So he's a really good seafood chef.
Yeah?
Yes.
Seafood.
Yes.
Does he do lobster and
He can.
all that?
I wouldn't know. He can.
Yeah.
So if you
See that? Just to throw the plug in here on
Uh-huh.
this, that's something a lot of people don't know about Texas Boil Team.
Uh-huh.
We don't just do crawfish.
Okay.
We do lobster boils.
Come on.
We do shrimp boils.
Oh,
we
wow.
do crab boils.
Okay.
Right. We make gumbo. We make the jambalaya.
So could you in theory have lobster, crab, crawfish all going at the same time?
Yep. We got a pretty big trailer that can
I've seen
accommodate
your
quite a
your
party.
rig. So
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's possible. I just didn't know if it would work well.
It will.
Yeah.
If planned properly, we can do anything.
Okay.
Anything.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
We have catered events where, besides the 3,000 pounds of crawfish that we did in less than 6 hours, we also did blue crab, snow crab, shrimp, sides, an unreasonable amount of random sides, just off the whim for green room parties for concerts and stuff like that. VIP experiences for different festivals that we've been a part of.
You're getting your hair flipped.
Do we need, Sarah, do we need something? We got,
Can I get a God Bless America?
Say what? Well, it
okay, how
sounds
many more?
It sounds like there's
Okay.
a lot of options.
There are.
You can get people's electrical taken care of.
Yep.
Feed
Y,
them along
y
the way.
Electric, WYE Electric LLC. Find us on Google.
That's it.
Give us a call for any electrical needs.
Awesome.
That's an easy one.
And like,
Most people don't
we've been
know that we
talking-
also own a crawfish.
Yeah,
catering
we
company,
talked
though.
about it.
So when
Yeah.
we've been talking for like 15 minutes. Who's your bodyguard?
Tell them what you do.
My name is Peter Warner. I'm one of the owners of Cocktails and Dreams Luxury Mobile Bartending Service.
Okay.
So we have a mobile bar trailer, two. Oh, okay. See, you almost broke
Sorry.
it. You almost broke it.
I doubt it.
Oh, you can. You're like a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my name's Peter. I'm one of the owners of Cocktails and Dreams Mobile Bartending. So we do anything from at-home mixology classes to full-blown weddings, big events.
Okay.
We have a two-horse trailer that was modified and rebuilt into
I
a
love those.
bar.
Those are so cool.
So
They're neat,
ours-
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Our trailer is all white with a cold lay-down bar top, and then it's got the luxury inside of like backsplash and stuff, but we have a 2 system, or 2-tap kegerator system, and then we also have a 100-can beer fridge and a 24-bottle wine fridge as well. So we're not just your run-of-the-mill trailer, but me and my partner, between the both of us, have been in the bar industry for 30 years combined, and we specialize in craft. So you're not just going to get a rum and coke or some Pinterest drink from us, like some whatever. Like, it might have a fancy name because, we'll tailor it to your party. But when you ask for a margarita, you're not going to get simple,
It's not from
sweet
the
and sour.
The pre-made vat of
if we
sugar
do batch,
and
it is
that
a craft
alcohol.
batch where we actually mix our own simple. We actually make our own triple sec. We do these things, and we don't use sweet and sour because sweet and sour is trash. Always trash. Right, so we make our own, like whether it be with orange juice or some type of other simple. Like one of the cocktails that we're making right now is it uses Demerara as a simple instead of just your normal sugar syrup.
I got it.
So it adds a different texture and sweetness to it.
Yeah.
So we go all out in it, and we're the Willy Wonka of mobile bartending.
And it
Anything
pairs
you can
really
drink.
well with crawfish.
And it's going to pair
there
really
we
well
go.
with crawfish. Pair really well.
There we go.
It's going to be 2 peas and a crawfish tail.
Okay.
Awesome.
Are you also a firefighter?
I am.
Houston Fire Department?
Yes. State.
Kevin? Yeah, Kevin Kennedy. Do you know him?
Sounds familiar, but it's
There's a lot of
4,000
guys.
miles.
Yeah. It's a big department.
Oh, it's a huge department.
Yeah.
But we're shrinking, but now we're starting to gain.
Oh, yeah.
So were you part of that payout that just happened?
I was.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's
I was.
Dude, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a long time waiting for a lot of the guys. I've only been in for 7 years, so like I just capped the lowest rate, or not lowest rate, but like the kind of the top rate for mine.
Yeah.
Same.
That's a huge win
They
for
need
you.
Oh,
it.
no, definitely.
Everybody, I mean, it's been too long.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
The morale has definitely changed
Oh,
in the
big time.
department.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've talked to
That's
some
great to
guys
hear.
that turned out 6 figures on that deal.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm not one of them. So, kind of wish I wasn't.
Yeah, no
But,
doubt.
but it's a huge bump for the guys. And,
Yeah.
I mean, we get ran down every day. Like, I was just telling him, like, man, it's past my bedtime because I got a shift tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, and I was up all night, all day and all night last night running the ambulance. So, it's, it's just one of those things, but we do it because we care about the city. We love the city.
Well, I
We love our,
appreciate you doing
we
that,
love
man.
our citizens.
Yeah,
It's an
thank
incredible
God bless
service.
Texas.
Thanks for helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best thing about our company is the other co-owner is also a firefighter out
Okay.
here in the Woodlands area. So it's a veteran-owned company because I've also been in the military for the last 16 years. And
Okay.
it's a first responder-owned company.
Awesome.
Were you active duty or reserve?
I was active for 5 years. So 5 years, and then I've been in the National Guard since. So I did
Okay.
11 years National Guard so far, and I've done 5 years active. So I've done 4 deployments, and we're just keeping it going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for your service, man. Appreciate you.
But we give a 10% discount to any first responder.
There you go.
So we give back to our guys.
So, like, similar question, like, what does it cost to have, like, a mobile bar like that come out? I mean, like, is it, because, like, are you guys, is it the expectation, like, the host is going to pay up front for everything? Or is it, like, you guys, we pay a flat fee and then you pay the guys come in and buy their own drinks?
So No, so in Texas, and I'm trying to change this with a couple of other people, because in Texas you can only be a dry hire unless you have brick and mortar. So I can't bring liquor to your party. I can't bring alcohol, any alcohol.
I got you.
To your
Yeah.
party. Right. So we're
It's
trying.
the same with most wedding venues.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make a bill. We're trying to pass a bill in the Senate to where it is for mobile bartenders to have a liquor license in the state of Texas, like others.
Would it be like a different
states.
kind of license?
Yeah, it would be a completely different kind of license because obviously we're mobile. So you don't have to have the brick and mortar. You don't have to have the fire suppression systems in your house. And, it's crazy that a small business like a mobile bar would need a brick and mortar with a $30,000 license to sell.
Oh yeah, doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, especially now that you can go and order margaritas from, I'm not going to boast out anybody's company, but
Right.
Gringos. You can get a margarita from Gringos
Right.
and have it shipped to your door. So why can't I, as a mobile bar, transport liquor if I have the right licensing and the right insurance?
Makes total sense. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
but for us, until that happens, what happens is you go to our inquiry page, and depending on what kind of package you want, because we have anything from just beer, wine, and bubbles, so champagne, to where you get beer, wine, bubble, champagne, mixed drinks, and spirits, and craft cocktails. So you get 2 or more of the choice craft cocktails. If you want a special craft cocktail that we don't have on our pre-made list, then go ahead and spit it to me, and we'll make it. If you want, hey, I like a tequila.
Full service.
Yeah. So we're the Willy Wonka of mobile bartending.
Yeah.
Whatever you can dream of, we'll make it as long as the price is right.
It's a good dynamic duo.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We're going to kill again this year.
Absolutely.
So 2025 is going to be huge.
I love it.
We got to wrap up just to get the next guy in. But how did people get a hold of you? I know. Did you already give yours?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. How did
So phone number is 832-303-3204, and Instagram is CAD_Houston.
Okay. Awesome. What's the name of it, by the way?
Cocktails and Dreams. We're bringing it back.
I like it.
We're bringing it back. Tom Cruise, old days.
Yes,
I look
sir.
forward to it. Y'all invite us to a couple of parties. So
Yeah.
we can sample
Let us
it.
Oh, we got some plans you're going to be a part of. Don't
Okay,
you worry.
good.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear.
Don't show up late, please.
No.
Never again.
If he does, he'll give me a heads up, and I'll make sure you're looking up.
There you go.
See, that's something about hiring us for the first time. Is every year events grow, so we're going to expect more this next time around. So we'll prepare properly for
Look, I'm just giving you a hard
our
time.
annual parties.
He's just mad.
I'm just
he
no.
gets left out.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Listen,
I don't get to go to the Thistle. I don't get crawfish.
He doesn't get boots.
That's true.
I'm gonna.
Piss me off over here.
This is a cordial. How do you say it? Cordial invitation.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna be doing a crab boil. Snow crab, blue crab.
Okay.
If you want some other crabs, we'll figure it out.
I like all the crabs.
Everyone kind of pitch in on it. We're gonna throw a crab boil here in like November when
Okay.
it gets cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm
we're
in.
gonna do.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And then we'll come up with some old
gonna be
fashions
great.
for it too.
Yes.
Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
this, I tell people all the time, like, look, this is how I test your bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I promise you, my old
That's
fashions will blow your
That's an
mind.
easy one.
Okay. Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Dude, I mean, like, okay, so like as a bar guy, they're making these with Angel's Envy.
I love Angel's Envy. That's one of my go-to wide production bar go-to drinks. Is if I'm gonna have one of these, I like the Angel's
Yeah,
Envy.
it's good.
But I just had one, and I'm not gonna spill my ingredients. But if you like peanut butters, chocolate, then I have a Reese's cup.
Oh, I
okay.
love peanut butter.
You're talking his language right there.
So I have
That's what I'm talking about.
I have a Reese's cup.
Oh my god.
Old fashioned.
I cannot wait.
Yes.
I cannot wait. Man, that
I'm here
sounds
for it.
delicious. Oh,
Heck yeah.
yes.
Are we still on?
Well,
Oh yeah,
you
you're
are.
on, but like we gotta bring the next guy on.
That sounds good.
Dude,
All right.
thank you guys for
Thank
sitting
you
down.
guys.
Thank you guys. You can find Texas Boil Team on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Okay, right.
We're the only one in the world.
Dude, get on the feed and drop a link.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, you'll find us.
Absolutely.
The Homeowner Show.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Good.
CD. Sorry.
See, dude.
Good.
All right. Howdy.
Oh, howdy guys.
Thanks
How
for-
y'all doing?
Thanks
Very
for being
good.
patient.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Well, I mean, more so. Thanks for being a sponsor.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Specifically, the owner of our company, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Incredible woman to work for.
So did Darlene make you come over here? Is that?
No, Darlene didn't make it.
I know how much she loves coming and talking on the microphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I love Darlene because she knows
Uh-huh.
that a sink is not an appliance.
She knows she's just misinformed.
No, she knows. She's so smart. Smartest woman.
I'm going to tell her y'all said that.
Tell her.
She'll come after you.
Oh,
No,
she'll
no,
come after me. She likes Kevin.
Yeah, she likes me. That's right. That's That's right. Well, tell us. I mean, we sing Lone Star Appliance Repairs praises all the time, but like we talk about it from really a consumer standpoint, but from a business standpoint, why would someone repair an appliance instead of going? Appliances are they're not cheap, but they're also kind of not the most expensive thing that you.
Well, then people throw
purchase.
0% at you.
They do.
Yeah.
They're going to say, "Oh, free delivery," and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, like, why would I do that versus something else?
There's numerous reasons. One, from the ecological standpoint, it's something not going into the landfill.
We talk about that
prematurely.
Yeah.
There's that information right there. You've also got the fact that usually it's more cost effective to repair something over replacing it. I mean, your brakes go out on your car, you don't replace your car.
Right. That's a good point. It's a great point, actually.
Not everybody is in the 1% and has the disposable income to just say, "All right, broke, I'm gonna go get a new one."
Right. Yeah.
So for a lot of people, it does make sense to repair it. What we found, and Darlene and I were talking about this, it's mostly Gen X and older that call us out because they remember the Sears repairman. They remember the Maytag repairman coming around to their house.
Yeah.
I remember the Sears man at my house as a kid.
Sure.
And the newer generations, they're not familiar with that because we've grown into such a disposable society over the years. They don't realize, hey, we can repair this. So you get these young new home buyers, they get this home warranty, and they hear, oh, they'll replace it if it breaks down. And we show up, and they're like, you can repair these things?
Oh, wow.
And we're like, yeah, I make a good living doing this. So I repair them all the time. And it's...
Do you think that's like a marketing problem on the side of like the appliance companies? Because I'm like you, man. I remember, I can even vividly envision the uniform of like the Maytag repairman.
Oh yeah.
That was like their whole thing, right? The Maytag repairman, he's bored because he's not having to get out and actually repair anything.
Exactly.
But like, who is it? The guy from Firefly, I think, is like the new like Maytag.
Oh really?
Guy, Nathan Fillion.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like he's been doing, like, at least the last ads that I saw from Maytag,
Okay.
he was doing ads for that. But like I can remember the uniform.
Exactly.
And like that's a part of it. And like the Sears guy, like we were talking about, like it used to be, they almost look like the milkman.
Yeah.
And
like I said, unfortunately, we've gotten away from that. They're not advertising that, hey, this can be repaired. They want to sell new units.
Right.
I mean, we talk about all the time, units manufactured back in the 80s and older. Like I still run across ovens that are built in the early 70s, late 60s. They're still running. Can't get parts for them anymore. But they're still running. Or they're just recently finally broke down.
Right.
And the problem is, like I said, these newer generations, they don't realize things can be repaired. That, and in the mid-'80s, was the start of designed obsolescence. They started the process of discontinuing parts after so many years.
Yeah.
And all that. And
yeah.
Between that and becoming a disposable society, a lot of people don't realize that this industry exists.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And I mean, it's a great industry to be in. It's just getting the word to the younger people that, hey, you don't have to scrounge and scrape and go buy a new refrigerator at $3,000. You might be able to get this thing fixed for $200, $400.
Yeah.
And save yourself a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And the refrigerator will continue to run for quite a while.
So what about like these older like GE like 1950s style appliances? Like, I know that they're still out there.
Oh yeah.
Are there parts available for those? I mean,
basic parts that haven't changed over the years or haven't changed a whole lot over the years. You can still get stuff. For instance, I worked on a refrigerator today, as a matter of fact. Best I can tell by the serial number, the unit was manufactured in the late 80s, give or take. It's still running. Might have been the early 90s. But the fan, we needed a new fan for the evaporator. And it just burned out and seized up. the new fan is almost identical. It's just an upgraded part number. They changed a few things. It's got a little more plastic in it now.
Yeah, but
So
it does
basic,
the job.
Yeah, basic things that haven't changed in decades. You can still get your hands on a lot of stuff. More critical components, not so much. But a lot of the basic parts we can still get our hands on. We can still do something to get that unit running.
So like on something like that, what's a critical component?
Critical components, we're looking at stuff like compressors. If they're sophisticated enough to have a control board in them, they're gonna obsolete control boards within 20 years.
And can you not retrofit new compressors because they need those control boards, or is it
It's what
size
it is. It's above my knowledge. I know that sealed systems, refrigeration systems are an engineered design, and they can't be modified too much. So when we go in and we work on a refrigerator and we do have to take something out, we do our best to cut out as little of the refrigerant lines as we possibly can. We try to minimize that because cutting that line does affect the overall function of the machine. So if you were to take and cut a foot out, you can drastically change the efficiency and the ability of its functionality.
Okay.
So there's certain things that we can work around and certain things that we can get and make things work.
Right.
But when it comes to critical components like say a compressor or a control board or something that is specific to a unit, we can really work around it. It has to be that part of it.
Because I know that there's brands today that are made to look like retro appliances.
Yes.
I think because we have some part, you can't get parts for these things anymore, and so when they break them, and so then
But people like the look of them.
Guys like Kevin come along and turn them into smokers.
That's right. I actually,
we need to talk.
Yeah. I can show you some pictures.
I'll catch you later.
Okay.
Didn't you turn like a dishwasher into a smoker?
No, it was a refrigerator.
I thought you did like a dishwasher with
No,
like a
we
tray.
talked about it. We talked about having a dishwasher with the trays. You convert them right out, and you got the rib racks already ready to go. But you gotta have the right. You gotta have the right racks because some of them are plastic.
That's true. Yeah.
So you gotta have the right racks. But no, we turned a refrigerator into a smoker. An old Crosley. There you go. It was awesome.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the brand that's doing like the retro looking.
Yeah, I don't either. It's probably like.
Oh.
Are you
familiar? I've worked on a couple of them.
And they're pretty simple, right? I mean, like they're not like crazy. Like
some of them are, some of them aren't.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends.
Right.
I've worked on several different ones. There's one brand out there, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it because I don't see a whole lot of them, but it's Italian made.
Okay.
Or Italian branded, I should say. Yeah.
For what they are, yeah.
Yeah, most of them aren't very big. They can be $3-4 grand.
This particular one was 42 inch.
Okay.
8-burner top.
Okay.
Nice dual fuel setup. And I've worked on it twice. It's got some sensor problems in it. There's a lot of things out there.
This is a stove?
Yeah, arranged.
Is it like a gas stove or is it
electric? Dual fuel. So it's gas on top and electric in the other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we actually had one of those. It was awesome. Best in the world.
So I will tell you this much. There are some brands out there that they sell at Home Depot. Those big fancy stainless steel chef style. They look really nice, but they're really inexpensive in the grand scheme. Your listeners, I hope, avoid them. Don't buy them. Yeah. You will be sorry, I promise.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody that said those are designed to live nice and sell a house.
Wow.
They're not great units at all.
You get what you pay for. I mean,
those families for those families that eat out every night.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, there's a reason that these Wolf appliances cost what they cost.
Exactly. The KitchenAids, the Wolves, the
Vikings,
exactly.
Yeah, they're worth their money in gold because you pay for them once and probably never have to pay for them again because of two things. Number one, they're going to last for a while. They hold up for a long time, but then they're repairable.
Yeah.
They make parts for them.
Well, also I remember like our episode with Chef Colin. He's the chef rep for Sub-Zero. he was telling us like there's just different technology in those refrigerators that there's like something that allows the food, like for specifically like fruits and vegetables, that just cause them to last longer.
It controls the humidity and it controls so many things that he said that you can keep
There's
carton of
something
milk for a
specific.
month.
Yeah, there's something specific it removes out of the atmosphere of the inside of the refrigerator that allows food to last longer. Right. I forget what it is, but there's just different
Yeah,
tech.
he said you can keep a head of lettuce for 4 weeks. Like
Yeah,
stuff that's
like
crazy.
strawberries was the big one.
Yeah.
Like that it lasts like a month.
Yeah.
It's like
And,
what?
and those big built-in units,
Uh-huh.
I find them all the time built clean back to
Yeah.
1995 or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Is like they last for like
They last
30,
forever.
40 years.
That's right. I mean,
Then if you pay up front for them,
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays they start around 14 grand, 15 grand for a
If not
built-in.
20.
Yeah, and they get ridiculous.
yeah,
They last and they keep.
Well,
And
that's
those
what-
they do keep up with parts on.
that's the thing, and that's one of the things that they talk about is like, yeah, it's 14 grand up front, okay, but over the life of how many years you've had that, how many refrigerators are you purchasing, and oh by the way, how much food are you saving?
Right.
And he said it's hard to quantify, but most families on average throw away about $2,000 worth of food a year.
I believe it.
And so once you start quantifying the amount of food you're throwing away just because it's spoiled, and the amount of money you're spending on replacing the refrigerator or repairing it or whatever, you can buy one if you're willing to invest.
Well, I mean, like simple math. If every family throws away, on average, $2,000 worth of food every single year, and if a Sub-Zero refrigerator lasts 20 years.
Yep.
The average life of a modern standard freestanding refrigerator is about 7 to 10 years.
Right. So if that math works out, then you're saving about $40,000.
Right. Yeah.
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
It's not. It's a lot to put up front, but it's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
Well, granted, you have to have the kitchen to put it in. I know I couldn't fit one in
That is a fair point.
Modifications coming.
Yeah. Well, so what are some of the big repairs that you guys are seeing nowadays more often?
It's hard to say because I see a little bit of everything every day and I see something new every day. I do know we tend to get things in bursts. We'll see a common failure, whether it's brand-wise or appliance-wise.
Right.
We'll get a rash of.
Okay.
It'll just
they tend to have their day.
They come in clumps for whatever reason. Like for a month, we'll sit there and replace every baking igniter on the gas range.
Oh man,
for a month.
Right.
And then we don't see them for another 7 or 8 months.
I got you. Are there certain appliances that people are less apt to repair in your experience? Like if someone's, let's say their washing machine, their clothes washing machine goes down, and it's, is there like a price point at which they go, I'm out?
My philosophy is if it exceeds half the cost of a new one, you might consider a new one. It just depends.
Because these new ones have like really complicated electronics on them.
Yeah, they do.
And I imagine that's like the most expensive thing to.
So, case in point, for me to replace the shocks on a Whirlpool washing machine,
replace the what?
The suspension shocks.
Okay, yeah.
On the washing machine.
Yeah.
Keep it from banging around. The cost for the average customer to replace shocks on a Whirlpool is under $300 or right at $300.
Okay.
Samsung, to do the same job, is almost $600.
Oh man.
Because it's all dependent on the pricing that the manufacturer puts for it.
Right.
Samsung is pushing to get new appliances sold.
Right. So they want to up the price of the repair.
Exactly. And this is where we come into the home warranty area. Customers who have home warranty, they're going to get that repair at the warranty's expense, and that machine's going to continue to last.
And I'm not trying to disparage any company, but the question I want to ask, because I don't know, I have an assumption in my head, but I don't know. To buy brand new, which one is cheaper? Samsung or did you say GE?
Well,
or you said Whirlpool.
Whirlpool was the example.
So between Whirlpool and Samsung, which one is cheaper to buy brand new?
Typically, the price points are going to be within $20, $30 probably.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody's competing with everybody. They all want to do a deal. One thing that you'll see a lot of is Samsung will push a whole package.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. I've seen Whirlpool do it as well. I've seen LG do it as well. But I predominantly see Samsung pushing those packages for new appliances.
Right.
And
When you say package, you're talking like refrigerator, stove,
yeah, like
washer,
a whole
dryer.
kitchen
Yeah,
suite,
yeah, yeah.
you know, kitchen suite or washer dryer set, you know, special financing, all that kind of stuff. And it's they're nice, they look pretty and everything, but if you really go out and look at consumer reviews, don't go to Consumer Reports. That's paid.
Yeah. No,
It's paid advertising there. But if you go out and look at forums and whatnot, and you see who's pushing what, I tell people don't look at the box at the beginning. Look at the brand and what are you getting.
Right.
For instance, Whirlpool manufactures half of everything on the market. Whirlpool, Maytag, Jimmy, KitchenAid, and Man are all owned by Whirlpool.
Yeah.
Right? That's half the market.
Right.
And they, in my opinion, they make the best stuff. The parts to replace are usually more affordable if you do have to have it worked on. That's the direction I usually push our customers in. If something is beyond repair or it's not cost effective to repair,
Right.
I'll tell them, look at Whirlpool products. If you can't find anything there, Frigidaire, Electrolux is the second choice. Stay away from Samsung, LG, and GE. That's who pays my bills. They all like it. But
So in another world, also like buy as many of those as possible so that you can keep working.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
And people are, because I mean, for the very reason that you're talking about, they have better packages, they have better financing. I mean, they're being more competitive, but like it's also because like they, I mean, we can speculate as to why.
Yes,
I mean,
It's not costing
you're probably not, but we can.
It's not costing them more to make that product than the other products, and they're getting bought more often. So they're making more money, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm inside and out of people's houses all the time, and then the number of times that I see LG and Samsung inside people's houses is through the roof.
Sure.
Oh, and builders, they give them an insane discount to the builders to get their products in people's houses because, well, I want everything to match, so I'm going to go back and get another Samsung or another LG.
And that's something I actually want to bring up, is repairing your appliances keeps you from having mismatched appliances. Because so many people go into a home or they buy a new appliance and they want them all to look the same. It's why Frigidaire has their gallery series and they've got their this series and whatever. They want it all to look the same. And if you can't repair, or if you choose not to repair it, you're gonna buy everything again to look the same if that's what you're going for.
Right. So I had a customer, she had a straight Electrolux kitchen, beautiful kitchen. She had it remodeled, and the microwave, the magnetron burned out on it. So it was a high-end unit. I told the lady, I said, look, I know if these parts are going to run, it's going to be close to $400 to get this thing repaired, maybe even $500 because of the model that you have. Sure enough, I was in the ballpark. It came out to right about $500. Brand new, the microwave was $600. And it was already a discontinued model. Couldn't get that look.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want my kitchen to match. I designed this kitchen to match. It has to match. I'll pay whatever to get it.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
To
No
me, that
judgment one way or the other.
it just makes more sense on so many levels if you can get your appliance repaired and if it makes sense. I mean, that's one of the things. If you said it more than once tonight, I'm going to tell you this is how much it is, and you may want to consider getting new if it's this much. And that's one of the things that I love so much about y'all's company is that you're not out to gouge people. You're out to actually help them, and you're going to be truthful with them. So hire a company that has got your best interest in mind. It's not going to try to gouge you just because they can, and do what's best for you as a consumer. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and as the lead technician, I talk to my guys. I've got several guys running around underneath me. I tell them all the time, I say, look, one thing you need to do is make sure the customer's taken care of. If you know that you're creeping up on the cost of a new machine to do a repair, be upfront and honest. Don't pressure anybody ever.
Yeah.
we want the customer to be happy. We want them to make the decision. We don't want to feel like that sleazy used car salesman.
Right.
You really need to repair it. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to be upfront and honest.
Yeah.
Say, look, considering the age, considering the condition, considering X, Y, and Z, you might be better off with a new unit.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at these potential problems down the road.
Right.
We're going to tell you, okay, this particular unit has this main problem that if it's not here right now, you're going to see it down the road. So not only are you looking at this repair, but you're looking at this one down the road as well. So we want to inform our customers. We want them to have all the information possible so they can make an absolutely well-educated decision. Because if we tell them that, then they're more likely to call us back on something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we want
repeat business is the best business.
Absolutely. And I've got customers that I go back and see that I've actually become friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it's because we come out, we say, here's the truth on the matter.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Once you get your appliance repaired for less than what you thought it was going to cost, and you get to keep the look to all of your other appliances, you didn't have to go waste your time doing all that. What do you think you do? Just sulk at home and be like, oh man, I almost got a new appliance. No, you got to tell all your friends. Hey, by the way, this company, they didn't gouge me. They did what I was supposed to. They did what they were supposed to. They did it for cheaper. My house looks better than it did because I didn't have to replace this one thing because I couldn't afford everything else. The word of mouth is going to get out there, and it's a better way to do business. If you're a business owner listening to this right now, take note. It's a better way to do business.
Yeah. My last customer before I came over here tonight, they had one of these microwave oven, wall oven combo setups.
I've got one of those. Of the devil. See? I know. That's what I got, though.
A simple core switch had gone out in the microwave. So to replace that unit brand new, to the specs that they have on that particular unit, they're looking at a minimum of $3,000. I repaired it for less than 10% of the cost. And the guy is like, normally I fix a lot of my own stuff. Said, but this was extremely affordable. I'll be calling y'all again.
Perfect. Yeah.
I was like, we appreciate the business.
Yeah. It's just a good way to do business.
Yeah. Tell your friends about me.
That's it.
Well, we gotta wrap the evening up, but as a married dude, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So you're shopping for a new appliance with your wife. What is the brand that you're like, babe? You point me at that one, you and I are going to have a fight.
It's a toss-up. Like I said, Samsung, LG, and GE pay my bills. And new GE stuff. The old GE stuff is great.
Sure.
It's the GE is not GE anymore.
Right.
But I won't get into all that. But those three brands I'm going to stay away from.
Okay.
100% of the time, I don't. I see them too much. And the cost of the parts to repair them is not feasible because I get to see all of that.
And there's people out there that have good luck with it.
Oh yeah, there are.
For sure. But like, I appreciate you saying like, look, these are the three brands. Like, I don't want these in my house.
Yeah, it's like you're getting ready to buy a car. You recollect the last 5-6 months that you've been driving. What brands vehicles have you been seeing on the side of the road?
It's like, honey, I'd really like a Yugo. No, let's think about this.
Exactly.
Tell you where to go.
But my wife, she's I don't speak Spanish, but my wife does. She's
Okay.
So if I have a Spanish-speaking customer, I call my wife up and say, "Hey, we need you to translate," and she'll talk to him and all that stuff. So my wife, she hears a lot of the stuff that I deal with, a lot of the stuff that I've seen.
Okay.
She sees all of my parts boxes going in the trash. She sees what brands I'm throwing away. She
knows.
Well aware.
Yeah.
And she doesn't second guess.
So that's cool though. I mean, like, so
I love it.
She's readily aware.
Yeah.
That's a cool one.
My wife pays attention.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
Well, we actually do know how to get a hold of you. So the best way to get a hold of Lone Star Appliance Repair is up on the screen right now. It's 936-647-2364. Give them a call. Send them a text. I love that you can do either one of those. Again, it's 936-647-2364. Thank you for sponsoring to the show tonight and every month. We appreciate that very much. And
We enjoy it.
easy brand to prop up. That's it.
Yep.
It really is.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here today, and we know we've been around for over 2.5 hours now. We have put on a lot of content. So
Y'all been busy, man.
we have.
I've been sitting over there watching y'all. Y'all do a great job every night.
It's hot out
Appreciate
here,
it.
man. It's ready
Yeah,
for
I was.
some air conditioning.
I was noticing it's 9 o'clock at night and it's still 90
That's
degrees.
right.
Whew, God
Thank
bless
you, guys.
Texas.
We'll see you later.
See ya.